World's most bit crust objection in the chat. True. What are games? Interactive media, right? That would be the most correct definition. What is live? Not recorded. Question that aims to this stream. I just answered them though, so I'm kind of shit out of luck, right? Should we do Icicle before or after we start? I don't know how long the first case is gonna be. They're usually only like 2 to 3 hours long. So we might have like a good like halfway continue. I think that should be okay. One hopes. Tomato curry. Listen to this shit. I was, right before I went live, I was doing my Persona 5X dailies because, you know, I forgot. And I was like, man, I really want to get to Futaba. Let me push a few pulls that I got from the event for the weapon to try to get like 4-star weapons to get more of that dust to get more pulls. I got Futaba's weapon. Now I really gotta get Futaba. Well. I guess that's always like the risk you run, right? When pulling, that you might just get lucky forehead. Shit. All right. Let me see. Is this working? Yep. Your new game. Start from episode turnabout trigger. Sure. Ah, the chess pieces. It's time for mental chess. Logic chess. Whatever he wants to call it. Here he comes. The presidential plane descends from the western skies. It's making its final approach and lands right on Gourd Lake. Ah, frick. I got lucky. Exactly. Just listen to that crowd. Welcome, Zhen Fa. Welcome, Mr. President. And now, sir, your audience awaits. Honored friends and allies, I'm here today to deliver a message. The odious criminals that dodged my beloved country are gone thanks to your prosecutor's office of your great country. You have our most heartfelt gratitude ever, friends. Do not forget. The battle against evil rages on. Here today, I make you this solemn promise. We shall crush the wickedness with the righteous hammer of justice. Ah. Call the prosecutor's office. Get Miles Edgeworth here right away. If anyone can solve this, he can. Maybe the most extra opening to an Ace Attorney game you could possibly have. All right. March 25th, 2:46 p.m. Gourd Lake, spectator area. And then they actually called him. The news must be halfway around the world already. Calling a detective? Well, there's Gumshoe. After all, it's not every day an attempt is made on the life of a nation's president. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor. I'm here to do detective work. Came as soon as I got the call. The moment the phone rang, I knew it was serious. Gumshoe barely counts. That's true. Mr. Edgeworth. All right, how much bullying of Gumshoe do you think we're going to get in this game? Thank goodness you're here, sir. This is Dick Gumshoe, a detective with the local precinct. More. He's the one usually assigned to my cases. How is the president, detective? We still don't know, Mr. Edgeworth. The medics just boarded the plane a few minutes ago. I see. I hope he's all right. And I suppose you'd better show me the scene of the crime instead. Right away, sir. Hey, I said hey. Yeah, you, Ruffles. Who's that? You're the prosecutor in charge of this case, ain't you? Want to give me your first impressions? I strike you as odd. No comment. Detective Gumshoe, with me. Professional as always. Come on now, Mr. Prosecutor, don't be like that. Mr. Edgeworth, wait for me. Now, Detective, I'll need the facts of the case, and as much detail as you can give me. Oh shit, Gumshoe doing his job? Well, the scene was right here at Gourd Lake, as you already know. A bunch of people were gathered to welcome the president of Zhenfa. Di Zhuang. Yes, I read about his visit. It's been all over the news for days now. Alright. Newspaper clipping data jolted down. Take a quick look. Anything in particular? Doesn't look that strange. Dude's ripped out of his mind though, holy shit. It was raining until just before he landed. Luckily it let up and he went on stage as planned. And then, smack dab in the middle of his speech, bang, a gun goes off and everyone runs for cover, terrified for their lives, apparently. Apparently. Truth is, I only just showed up myself. I don't know a lot more than you do, sir. You were summoned on short notice as well. Sure was. Right in the middle of my day off. Bro can get day off. On tailored suits. Who? Ed? Oh yeah, that guy for sure, actually. I was at the office taking advantage of the peace and quiet to prepare myself for the next case. And then the boss himself calls you to the scene. Never a dull moment, eh, Mr. Edgeworth? The boss? Yeah, chief prosecutor was right here in the park. Saw the whole thing. First chance he got, he yelled at the top of his lungs. Get me Edgeworth right away. He's the only man for the job. Something like that. I see. Oh, and they cordoned the perimeter of the park up. As soon as it happens, you'll be happy to know. So our would-be assassin is still here somewhere. Good. Now all you gotta do is find him in the middle of that crowd before they strike again. You're right. We don't know what else our culprit might be planning. These people are in danger. Investigation start. We don't have a moment to lose. Let's begin with the basics. And search every inch of the crime scene for clues, no matter how insignificant they may seem. Precisely. The president was shot at, which means a gun was involved. That's our first clue. Security was tight for President Wang's speech, but he was still shot at somehow. Alright. Duly noted. Detective Gumshoe, how exactly was the security details surrounding our president's speech organized? Well, sir, our officers were mainly focused on securing the perimeter of the park. The president's people took charge of the rest. He has his own team of bodyguards. See those guys over there? Maybe we should ask them a few questions. Bald, by the way? If I want to talk to him, I need to walk over and press A. Can I help you? You're one of the president's bodyguards, correct? Can you tell me how his security detail was arranged during the speech? 2 of our senior operatives were attached to the president. The rest secured the stage. This isn't our first rodeo. Anything suspicious in that crowd and we would have spotted it right away. I see. So the president's security was tightly orchestrated for the duration of his speech. Let's investigate further. We should speak with other witnesses and continue to look over the crime scene. We can't afford to leave any stone unturned. I feel like they'd at least know like what direction the gunshot came from, right? So that's how you all go about it, huh? Sure is something seeing the pros at work. Care to share a little information about what happens to that information once you got a hold of it? Oof. Bystanders. This one seems persistent, but I can't afford to get distracted. Hey, Ruffles. Ask you a question, dang it. What happens next? Well, we put all the information together and try to find connections, right, sir? Detective! Oh, don't be so hard on the poor guy. So connections, you say, and what next? Well, I guess you'd say we connect the dots. Connect one piece of information to the other. It's Mr. Edgeworth's forte. He's a logic master. I can view what information I have with LB and then connect them with Y. I should try it now. Just a quick press of LB and we'll be off the path of logic. Whoop. It's so funny when there's like a direct sequel to a game and they're like, we have to assume people haven't played the first one. Despite the president's tight security, the perpetrators still managed to carry out their attack. Completely undetected by a contingent of highly trained bodyguards, no less. But no mean feat. This would have taken some serious planning. In other words, the assassination attempt was almost certainly premeditated. That's the stuff, Mr. Edgeworth. The old logic never fails, huh? Indeed. All we need to do is find the right clues and then make the right connections between them. Make the wrong connection, however, and we'll only wind up further from the truth, which means I must make well-reasoned connections if I intend to draw logical conclusions. Begin investigation. Alright, we're gaming. Let's get this investigation started. Time to examine anything that looks suspicious. To examine things, I simply need to walk up to them and press A. To speak with a detective, I should use Y. This is pretty suspicious. No! I was as surprised as you, sir, but there's no mistaking it. Ba-da-bum, ba-dum, ba-da-da-bum. Bam, bam, ba-da-ba-ba-ba-dum. You would think with how much the Steel Samurai shows up, it's like the only show in this entire series. It's a Steel Samurai. The Steel Samurai. Warrior Nero, Old Tokyo. It's a popular TV show. Old, young, it doesn't matter. It truly has something for everyone. Beats me why they had a Steel Samurai balloon as a welcome party for a foreign president. It's a little odd, although now that I think about it, what better hero to represent our nation? I must scour the scene and search anything that catches my attention. Breaks your heart, don't it? It does. What villainy could have befallen him? Witness says he popped right about when the gunshot went off, which would strongly suggest that a bullet struck the balloon. Looks like we got a case of cold-blooded samurai murder on our hands. This is sacrilege. Everyone rests until the culprits have been apprehended. Ways to make Edgeworth mad. Do something bad with the Steel Samurai. Shoot at his jacket. Detective, we cannot let this vile assassin escape. We won't, sir. You can count on it. Started to float to the lakeside, but has since been popped. Vile. Absolutely vile. There's some flowers. Ooh, I see a bullet hole in the... These flowers are in full bloom. They look exotic. I don't know the species. My favorite flowers are maybe roses. Yeah, roses and lilies. Roses make me think of weddings. Ah, the romance. And lilies, well, that's funerals, I guess. Sad, but part of life, you know. That's, you know what, Gumshoe? That's pretty cool. It's no coincidence that both types of occasions tend to feature a free buffet, I imagine. Come on, sir, that's not fair. Bruh. It's the flag of Jianfa. The key motif is a blazing red phoenix. Wait, what's this? Something the matter, sir. You don't see it, detective. There's something unusual about this flag. Compare it with the one on the other side of the stage, if you will. Oh, that's a beauty right there. Just look at it, flapping in the wind. It's immaculate. Exactly, which is how flags should look. And yet here we see quite a different picture. One thing in particular stands out, don't you think? Right, of course. Guy, give up. Come on, spill the beans. You can lead a horse to water. Water.
Take that!
Take that. Look closely. Do you see the hole? Well, look at that. You're right, sir. And note the burn marks around the edges. That's a bullet hole. There's no mistaking it. Shot at close distance, too. A bullet hole, you're saying a bullet went through this flag? If it's burnt, right? I think I've gathered enough information for the moment. Time to put the pieces together and see what we can figure out. These are at the same time. Yerp. There's a bullet hole in the flag, and it seems highly like the balloon was popped by a bullet too. Which means 2 shots were fired, right, sir? Possibly even 3. The president was shot at as well, remember? Equally, the hole in the flag and the hole in the balloon could have been made by the same bullet. We need to know how many gunshots there were. Oh, that's it? Really? Alright, on with the investigation. Ruffles. Y'all figure something out, huh? Care to share? Who exactly is she, and why does she keep shouting at us? Rubbernecker, I suppose. A guest. Seems pretty interested in the case. Come on, give me something here. Do we need to speak with some witnesses to find out how many gunshots there were? Fine, let's see if she can tell us anything. Go, you. Intern Yama's... A bear trap right next to your arm? That seems like an awful place for it. And it's open too. There y'all are. Tabby Lloyd at your service. I'm looking into the case for, well, just for me right now, but... She's not, she's not a coward. True. Looking into the case, Miss Lloyd, was it? Tabloid, yep. Okay, I don't have autoplay on. It literally just went by on its own. There's something I'd like to ask. Well, what can you tell me? Any exclusive details you want to share? How about the perp? Have they made any demands? What about their ruffles? Where does a fellow buy a cravat like that? Hold it! Will you be quiet for a moment? I'll be asking the questions here. Dang. And here I thought I could get me something juicy for my piece. I need to know about the shooting. Can you tell me how many gunshots you heard? Why? I most certainly cannot. I beg your pardon. I just can't be handing out leads for free. That stuff's my livelihood. Aw, come on. Don't hold out on us. We all gotta share sometimes. Me? Hold out on you? Well, if you're gonna be like that, I'll be moving right along. Goodbye. Wait. Wait for what exactly? Huh? If you got nothing for me, I'm gone. We're fresh out of moves here. Out of moves? I wouldn't be so sure. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? As you know, Detective, I like to play a little chess. What does one do in chess when an opponent adapts a defensive position? Play the clock? Why, the board offers any number of options, but there are some more effective than others. Sorry, sir, but this is all going way over my head. No matter how impenetrable my opponent's defenses may seem, it can always be overcome. You have to make attacking and defensive moves. I think Edgeworth should play an attack. Okay, you guys made the same fucking joke. That's fine. That's fine. It's the obvious one, right? I wonder, Edgeworth seems like he'd be extremely cocky, and then he'd like go up against like a computer and lose like extremely quickly and be like, what the fuck? Huh? So-called free thinkers had an NL references available. True. Watch and learn, detective, as I shatter my opponent's resolve with the power of words. When attempting to draw out an entrenched opponent, one must employ certain tactics. Let us picture the board and see if we can anticipate our adversary's next move. Now, we must analyze the state of play. Yeah, y'all ain't got nothing out of me, not until you give me something in return. My opponent has dug herself in deep. Her defenses won't be easily broken, but I can't afford to try her patience by taking too long to plot my next move. In other words, I must be conscious not of my strategy, but also the passing of time. That said, I can't afford to waste words either. In fact, give me dividends not to, if my opponent gets too agitated. You're fixing to ask me something. Will you derange while I'll ask it already? I may be able to gain a tactical advantage by calmly biding my time. Then, when I see a crack in my opponent's armor, I pounce. I should begin by finding out what is she does. Alright, time to make my opening gambit. Mind chest. Commence. Why don't you begin by telling me about what it is that you do? Sure, I could totally not do that. Think I don't know how to keep my mouth shut? That's my job. Is it now? So you do something you won't or can't tell anyone about. Shut up. I ain't no lawbreaker, if that's what you're insinuating. I'll bide my time. I'm a law-abiding everyday citizen. You got no reason to say otherwise. Forgive me, I meant nothing by it. If it's something you can't tell me about, I imagine it must be very important work indeed. Huh? Well, sure, I guess. Least away I'll be once I bag my first big scoop. What's this about scoops? Heh. Oh my god. Edgeworth is such a piece of shit. I see. It's a scoop you're after. So you're a journalist, is that correct? Dang. Sure. I'm your favorite neighborhood reporter. I'm the hungriest cub on the beat. That's the mystery of what she does for a living solved. Oh, he's arguing with that floating pawn. I mean, that's more or less what he's doing, right? Perhaps our hungry young cub has gathered information vital to the case. This game is wild. I don't know. We're on the first case. Maybe he actually does start like playing chess against chess. Let's make that our next line of inquiry. The opening moves concluded. The mid-game approaches. What else does she have to tell us? Find out what you know. At the time of the incident, were you present at the scene of the crime? Come on now, Ruffles. You ain't gonna give little Tabby something first? Absolutely not. Then I ain't giving you nothing either. You think I'm a sucker? Think again. By time. Come on, this is my career we're talking about here. You gotta give me something. Sally, the more you know, the more you might find yourself in danger. I ain't scared. I'm a pro. It takes more than the sound of a little gunfire to faze me. Heh. You may be a pro, as you put it, but I'd say you're a little wet behind the ears. You say you heard gunfire, which proves you were here at the time of the crime. Therefore, you must have seen something. Double dang. Fine, I was here. I saw it. Came to report on the big speech, wound up reporting on a shooting. And you won't get more than me than that. I'm done with your tricks, Ruffles. She came to report on the event. She must have had a record of some kind. A record I'd very much like to get my hands on. This is quite the clue as to where to take the conversation next. You're a reporter, which means you must have been making a record of some kind. You got more questions, you gotta give me something first. That's the deal. I ain't in the habit of making deals. Now tell me what I need to know. Sorry, Ruffles, can't help you. Time to play my clue. My horse! No self-respecting reporter would leave the house without a means of putting things on the record. So tell me, Liz Lloyd, where is yours? Of course I made a record. I told you I'm a pro, dang. Near wore my shoes out running around on this one. Which is why I'm not about to just hand it over to the first person who asks me. I'm not just anyone, young lady. I'm the prosecutor in charge of this case. Don't you young lady me. You ain't getting it, no matter how many times you ask. It's spider time. That's not how knights move. True. You understand, don't you, Ruffles? It ain't nothing personal. I understand that your job is a difficult one. You do? Well, ain't that sweet? In such a competitive field, you must sometimes doubt you'll ever succeed. Nanai. I'll go plenty far, I'm sure of it, yeah. Just as long as I got my trusty tape recorder, I'll always be ready to nab me a scoop. Music stops. Intriguing. A young reporter hungry for success. So dedicated to her craft that to leave such an important event unrecorded would be unthinkable. And indeed she did not. She committed the entire event to tape. Dang it. This is my scoop you're messing with. My big break. Fine, sure. I recorded the whole darn thing. It's all right here. You got me? Checkmate. He's such a fucking loser. Oh my god. For successfully checkmating an opponent without making a mistake? Lmao, got him. You're something else, Ruffles. I was trying to be all strong and silent, but you had me singing like a canary. Never mind that. Now play us the tape. This should finally tell us how many shots were fired. Fine. You can hear it, but I got conditions. You played me like a fiddle, Ruffles. Only the chief ever played me so good. Don't say it like that. You just imagine yourself destroying a random civilian in mind chess. He really is. Is this what it takes to be a prosecutor? I think that's what it takes to be a prosecutor in like the Ace Attorney universe. Yeah. So you gotta agree to be to be chief number 2 and be mentored to a rising star, aka me. Chief number 2, huh? Kind of like a second parent. That's a big responsibility, sir. And one more thing. I want exclusive reporting rights for the first 24 hours. Come on, you gotta say yes. What kind of mentor when it gives his star people the exclusive, huh? She's a difficult woman to refuse. I need to hear that recording. 24 hours is more than I can promise, but the story is yours until the case is solved. And the job of chief number 2? I think not. Nah. You're no fun. But I guess a girl can't have everything. All for the sake of the scoop, huh? Alright, you got yourself a deal. I got exclusive access starting right this second, Ruffles. Good. Then our first order of business is to listen to the tape. Kashek. Honored friends and allies, I'm here today to deliver a message. The odious criminals that dogged my beloved nation are no more. President's speech. Whirl. Katash. President passionately addressed the assembled crowd. They're trying to shake off the reports of his declining popularity by sheer force of will. That's me. There's me. Can't beat a little live commentary to set the scene. The meeting is scheduled for just after the speech, correct? He seems pretty pleased to be able to put the whole Yatagarasu situation behind him. As well, he should be. This is a great day for all of us. Whose voices are those? Oh, there are these two old guys standing right in front of me. They were whispering to each other the whole darn time. I know their voices from somewhere. Wait, the part where the gun goes off is right after this. The president thrusts his fist into the air as the excitement reaches fever pitch. Hello, male protagonist. The battle against evil rages on. Here today, I make you this solemn promise. We shall crush the wicked with the righteous hammer of justice. 2 shots. What the? Ah! There's a guy named... That's true. Miss Lloyd's tape, jotted down, and my organizer. So, 2 shots were fired. Yup, and that tells us something. But I will opt not to. Smart. Smart. However... It's only very important indeed. It allows us to deduce the trajectory of one of our bullets. Of the 2 shots fired, 1 hit the president, which means the other must have passed through both the flag and the balloon in that order. The position of our shooter. The only possible fate from which a bullet could have been fired through the flag and into the balloon is... like right here.
Take that!
Drawing a line between the flag and the balloon. Ah, close enough. Place our shooter on the left-handed side of the spectators' arena. It's hard to do that without like a ruler and using a controller. You'd probably use like a DS stick to do that beforehand. You're a genius, Mr. Edgeworth. Detective Gumshoe, I'll need to examine the left side of the spectator arena. Right, roger that, sir. So you need me to clear all the people out of the way, I guess. I do, and what evidence remains to be found may already be deteriorating, so I need you to be quick about it. Yes, sir. Chief, hey, I'm talking to you, Chief. I suppose you need me, Miss Lloyd. I surely do. You gotta help me out. This stuff's my forte. I'm the best crowd herder you ever did see. I'm prod, pummel, and push him wherever you like. A very kind offer, but I think a less hands-on approach might be preferable. Also, about this chief business. I am nobody's chief. Whatever you say, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Your wish is my command. I somehow doubt that. Here you go, sir. It's all ready for you. Miss Lloyd here cleared everyone out, just like that. You should have seen it. Oh, you ain't seen nothing. The chief, my other chief that is, she sends them running twice as quick. She sounds like quite a formidable character. Perhaps I should go easier on the poor girl. Thank you, but you really shouldn't have. All that running around. Your clothes are covered in mud. Allow me to pay for the cleaning. It's the least I can do. Huh? You need my jacket. Oh, you don't need to worry about it. You're pretty hit a little bit. This guy loves to pay for people's dry cleaning, huh? Isn't he chief prosecutor? Wait, that's in the future, guys. Yeah. It's reversible. All you gotta do is switch it around in Alakazam. No more dirt. On the outside, perhaps, but you'd still have a problem on the inside. We're ready to go back to investigating whenever you are, sir. The crowd has trampled the entire area. We'd be lucky to find any traces of our shooter at all. Ouchie? Wait, what is he called in this game? Pain, right? Well, this is quite the situation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Edgeworth? Who is he again? It's Payne, Mr. Edgeworth. Winston Payne. We work together at the prosecutor's office. He's a prosecutor? What brings you here today, Mr. Payne? Hee hee hee. What indeed? Why, only the invitation of the chief prosecutor himself. His voice, I recognize it from the tape recording. Was he one of the men who was standing in front of Miss Lloyd? And is the chief prosecutor? He had to leave, I'm afraid. He's a busy man. They let him, and only him, out through the cordon. So he had me summoned on short notice and then left before I even showed up. Rude. Good information, good information. You even gotta pick through the trash yourself. A prosecutor's life ain't easy, huh? Detective Gumshoe. Right away, sir. The faithful detective scrambles through the garbage as the prosecutor looks on, his hands unblemished. Let's see now. Come to Papa, little treasures. Is he enjoying himself? Edgeworth, you know how much you pay this man. Don't you dare yell at him for digging through trash. Bingo, a popsicle stick. Gotta love the jokes they put on these. Detective, sorry, sir. Relevant evidence. Relevant evidence. Huh? I think we got something. Good work, detective. Let's take a closer look, shall we? This is a pretty good tutorial. It's like going through everything. By examining a piece of evidence from all angles, we can undergo hidden details. We sure can. Just tell me which way you want it, sir. The item with right stick. If you want, I can move it closer or further away, too. I can use LB to examine an object up close and to get the bigger picture. And when you spot something, just say the word. I can point out suspicious areas with the cursor and press A to inspect them more closely. All right, let's see what we can discover. Nothing super crazy here. Let's open this shit up. Okay, so that's like a gun and a piece of paper. Less cover for Lakeside now. Eyes on this area. Rook reposition in light of Knight's injury. Knight to immediately escort President to plane in case of emergency. Safe Roshley. We know who might be in the audience. Lead Rook, second Knight. Presidential security plan. Plan in case of emergency. Eyes on this area. What we're looking at here. What are the president's security plan? It's a diagram of the president's security arrangements. It shows how the president's bodyguards were positioned. Even has his people's names on it. Rook and Knight. So his bodyguards aren't natives of Zhenfa. Already uses some private security firm. Completely intact and also put in chess. True, but also this probably isn't like the security details, right? It was probably stolen. Why not employ people from his own country? I know why not. Y'all want to hear a little Tabby Lloyd exclusive? You really know something. I sure do. I was over at their embassy not so long back sniffing out a story. While I'm there, one of my sources tells me that the president's got more enemies than you got hairs on your head. What? Quick Google search. Real quick. Between 100,000 and 150,000 hairs on their head. I mean, that's actually a reasonable amount for a president to have for enemies, huh? That's kind of low now that I think about it. But maybe I'm just biased because of the country I live in. 1 second, I'm getting gotcha. Interesting. So he's unable to trust his own domestic law enforcement. Wonder if one of these enemies could have been behind the attempt on his life. What is it doing dumped in this bag? You raise an interesting point. It's a document relating to a matter of national security. It's certainly be highly classified. Huh? Hey, there's something else in here. Me playing BattleBit when I put a fucking scope on my revolver. What's a gun doing in here? Sir, this bag. It's gotta belong to the... Yes, it could well have been disposed of by a would-be assassin. A revolver. It would have taken a lot of nerve to dump it here amongst all the chaos. Could this be the work of a professional? That would explain the security plan, too. And you need to take a very close look at our latest finds. Alright. Let's see this thing. 2 shots fired, as expected. 2 bullets in the spent bullets in the cylinder, matching the 2 gunshots heard on the recording. That proves it. This must have been the weapon that was used. A laser dot sight. Oh. Can be lined up with the target to make aiming a bit easier. If I press this here. Yep, definitely a red laser. Did the assassin have used a laser sight to target the president? I feel like you wouldn't miss if you had that, though. Also, who puts a laser sight on the top of the weapon? Don't you put it below? Right? Because if you're aiming with just the laser sight. No, if you're aiming with just the laser sight, I guess you could just put it above. Usually use like the laser sight in conjunction with the sight on the gun, and using those two you can get a more accurate reading on where it's gonna hit. Because you're looking at it from above or like directly on, whereas that's pointing from below. Anyway. I don't know, I don't own a gun, neither do I. I just play a lot of games that use laser sights apparently. I don't typically use laser sights though. That bag was a real find, huh? Just goes to show, a bag in the hands is worth 2 in the trash. Nice work, detective. Now, there's something else I'd like to ask of you. If you don't mind, I need you to take the bag and the gun to forensics to see if they can find any prints. On it, sir. A good set of fingerprints could really help this investigation along. Got the results for you, sir. That was quick. You bet it was. Told the text it was ultra super high priority. But, they came up empty. They checked everywhere. Inside and outside, top to bottom, sir. They even took the bullet out of the gun and dusted them. Should have known it wouldn't be that easy. Alright, what else we got? You're with one of the news channels. Yup. Can I help you? You must have footage of the event. Do you mind if I take a look? Wish I could help you, but that might be a little tricky. And why is that, huh, pal? You got a problem with doing your civic duty or something? No, it's just that my camera was knocked over in the panic. And now I can't get it to work. That footage would have helped immensely. Gah, just our luck. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. What the? You look like you need a little help, Mr. Edgeworth. I know that voice. K! Oh, that's a really early K. I'm surprised. Honestly, I'll leave you alone for 2 seconds, but don't worry, your hero's here to save the day. That's right, the one and only K. Faraday. Hero, only you would give yourself a title like that. So you're not a great thief anymore. Not right now, but it's not like I quit, I'm just on sabbatical. Okay. I'm taking time out for some intense training. Being the second Yatagarasi doesn't come easy. Kay helped me out on a few occasions about 2 weeks ago when I was working a case. The case of the Yatagarasi, a mysterious thief who seemed to appear and disappear at will. Dude, just remembering the last case of the last game is making me yawn. I'm like, why was that so fucking long? And who claimed only to steal the truth. She calls herself the second Yatagarasi, the successor of the so-called Great Thief. There's not a lock I can't open or a trap I can't escape. When it comes to stealing, well, I'm still in training, but I'll get there soon enough. What are you doing here, Kay? What do you think I'm doing? I've been enjoying the festivities, of course. I suppose she did mention being fond of such things. And afterwards, I was thinking of dropping by your office to see you guys, but now I don't have to. Good to see you, kiddo. You're as bright and breezy as ever. Hey, Gummy, how you been? You're looking pretty full of beans yourself. What the fuck? If there was no last case, true. It's okay. Are you really here to save the day? Yup. Prepare your jaw to hit the floor. Your best pal in the world here only went and took pictures of the whole shebang. Did you now? Then you better show them to me. Wow, your jaw didn't even drop an inch. What's a girl gotta do to impress you, huh? I know, right? Mr. Prosecutor here is about as much fun as a dang toothache. Won't even let me call him Chief. Aw, but I'm forgetting my manners. Tabby Lloyd, ace reporter at your service. Nice to meet you, Tabby. You're right. He's no fun at all. This one time You two can chat later. Okay, can I see those pictures? Boo, fine here. I took this one right when the gun went off. It was total chaos. People running everywhere. President and his 2 bodyguards. The names on the security plate were Knight and Rook, I think. What's that? J. Jonah Jameson lookalike. Thank you, indeed, Kay. I think you've provided us with a vital clue. Howie, your eyes just lit up like a pair of danged Christmas trees. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, care to tell the readers what you've spotted? A contradiction. Huh? A what? I don't see anything strange. Allow me to show you. This picture shows the moment of the incident, but that other piece of evidence shows us something different. We need to highlight the point of contradiction and employ my powers of deduction. First, to find the contradiction in the photograph. It's here, right? Yes, this is it. Assuming press Y to make a deduction. Okay, so he wants me to talk about the... and present evidence to prove it. You say so, sir. I can't see anything myself. You don't see it. It's something so obvious. There's a contradiction in itself. I don't think there's a contradiction here at all. That flat top is strong, true. And the evidence? Am I going crazy? Fuck, I got enough space. I also don't see it. That's definitely him. Okay, that's this. Okay, what are you doing here, boy? Look closely at the picture of the president in this news clip, if you would. Now look at Kay's photograph. Compare the two carefully, huh? What am I looking for here? Well, albeit, indeed, there's something on the president's forehead. Something that wasn't there in the... Are you fucking kidding me? Huh? Are they pointing out the red dot site? What is that? Some kind of birthmark? Yeah, guy's got a big red birthmark right in the middle of his forehead. Am I going crazy? I highly doubt a birthmark just sprung up there since... Is everyone an idiot right now? Do you get bitten by a bug then maybe? Yeah, that's it. You saw the red dot site, Gumshoe. And here I thought it was something important. The look on your face. You should know the road to truth is paved with just seemingly trivial details. Ooh, again with the face. All right. Duly noted, Chief. Dial it down to my organizer. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. Do you like my big entrance? Bet I really am your hero now, huh? Well, your evidence helped things along, certainly. Hey, I'm the second Yatagarasi, remember? All in a day's work. Kinda wish I could have showed you how far I've really come with the whole great thief thing, though. The training you mentioned. About that. Oh, don't worry. I haven't stolen anything yet. I promise. So the whole great thing theme is just on hold. For now, anyway. That's a relief, I suppose. Yeah, I wanted to get out there and start stealing back the truth just like my dad. But I still got a ways to go with my training. Now, I need to find some partners in crime. I hope she means that figuratively. I can't be the only girl in the world looking to pull off the most daring heist ever attempted. True, but not many people are looking to pull off a career in larceny either, I wager. This truly is a video game for babies, true? Yep, no doubt about it. You compare the pic I took to the newspaper clipping. The red birthmark stands out like a sore thumb. That's a contradiction, all right. Indeed, though I very much doubt it's due to a birthmark suddenly appearing. Well, that reminds me, I might have to steal that line of yours. The road to the truth is paved with seemingly trivial thefts. Funny, I don't remember that being the exact sequence of words I use. Why not rob a house when you can rearrange the furniture? Why just rob a house when you can rearrange the furniture too? They call it rearranging, but I call it irretrievably corrupting. Okay. Game for babies? I've solved the mystery. Shut the fuck up, Edgeworth. I have solved the mystery of the red birthmark. Fucking no way. Really? So it wasn't a bug bite? No, what we're dealing with isn't something that would itch for a day and then disappear. Brother, if your bug bites go away after a day, I envy you. It is in fact the beam of a laser sight. Then our killer was aiming to shoot the president square in the forehead. And shortly after this picture was taken, a second shot rang out. Yes, that's going to do more than itch. Indeed, I fear the president may be in even more danger than we thought. And that the gun we found was the weapon used in the crime. Why would the perp use a laser sight, though? He's right. You stand out like crazy using something like that. Pew, pew, pew. It's not like you can just go around shooting lasers all over the place. No, and anyone who saw it could trace it right back to the shooter. Seems like a pretty bad idea all around. Oh, I almost forgot. I took a couple more pictures. Maybe the laser sight's in one of them. It's a long shot, but it's worth a look at least. All right, Kay, let's see these other pictures. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Let's see. First up, here's what I took just before everything started going south. Kay? Sister. Pain. It does in fact seem like our little reporter is the one who did it, huh? Let a girl have her selfie. No. Can you blame me for not wanting to get a selfie with the president? Lucky for you, this was right before the gun went off. This one I showed you before is just after the first shot was fired. The second shot just came seconds after this. Then there's... What's this? I can hardly see anything. I got knocked over when everyone started running away. Right after that last picture. Guess I must have pressed the shutter by accident. Not sure this one's gonna be much use, kid. That's all of them. Time to take a closer look. Damn, the picture from... before the shooting. Is there any hint of the laser sight here? Nope, not a little bit.
Take that!
There, I see it. What is it, sir? Look closely at the person with the red hoodie. Whoa, there it is. Indeed, that's our laser sight right there. So that's our perp. The one in the red hood must be the shooter, yes. We found them, and all thanks to yours truly. Indeed, you led us right to the greatest treasure of all, Miss Great Thief, the truth. Hee hee. You may have captured our would-be assassin in one of your other photos, too. Let's take another look. Yeah.
Take that!
Look, right there. A red jacket. That must be our suspect. Looks like they took advantage of the confusion to make their getaway. Luckily, we can see exactly where they were headed. Ah, the samurai dog stand. Precisely, which means they escaped towards the right-handed side of the spectator arena. Detective Gumshoe. On it, sir. Consider it cleared. Good, I'm counting on you. We have you now, my little Red Riding Hood. Don't word it like that. Entire perk is cordoned off and we know which way you went. Now it's simply a matter of hunting you down. Boy, if only there was someone, I don't know, in the immediate area with, oh, I don't know, a reversible jacket with a red interlay. Now let's continue our investigation. There's evidence here everywhere. All we have to do is find it. I want to look at these pictures again. It doesn't show how long it is. Unfortunate. I'm gonna scour the scene and search anything that catches my attention. A button. What's this? A red button. Hey, do you think... could have been dropped by a red-hooded suspect? Yes, it clearly seems likely. There's something red down there. Detective Gumshoe, can you see what that is under the stand, please? Something down here, all right. Let's see. A red raincoat. This must be it. Ah, man. The one the suspect was wearing. They must have taken it off and hidden it under there before they made their escape. At a major political event where no other food option? No way, no way. That's true. It's a flimsy-looking food stand made out of plywood, and it sells samurai dogs. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I got 150 if you know. You're not actually suggesting I subsidize you eating on the job? Oh, I didn't mean to. That is, maybe when we're done? Fine. When we have finished investigating, you can have one. And only one, understood? Sorry, sir, I never should have. Wait, did you say I could have one? Yes. Why, is something the matter? No, it's just... I wasn't expecting you to... Thanks, sir. Let's go. Gumshoe W? He's so nice, character growth. The sleeve. It's inside out. The button's missing, too. I do not see how that's relevant. There's nothing unusual about this left sleeve. Nope, it's not inside out and the button's still attached. It's entirely too neat to have been removed hurriedly and thrown on the ground. It's really making me do this, huh? The button we found seems to have come from this raincoat. Must have been pulled loose when the killer took it off. Huh. The right sleeve's inside out, too. Seems it was removed in a hurry. Fast enough to tear a button off, no less. So true, Nova. Holy. Seems it was far removed in a hurry. Yes, yes, yes. I surmise our assassins disposed of their gun and bag in the trash immediately after shooting the president. And they slipped into the packed crowd and moved to the left side, from the left to right side of the spectator. This is because they knew the trajectory of the bullet would point to a shooter on the left side. Finally, they removed the raincoat and hid it under the samurai stand. The killer would have needed to get rid of the coat as soon as possible, hence his hurry removal. The fact that the right sleeve is inside out is a testament to how quickly it was taken off. Yerp. That and the missing button. The question is, of course, why didn't the same thing happen to the left sleeve? Oh yeah, only the right sleeve is inside out. Indeed. And the button on the left sleeve is still securely attached. So, what does this mean, Mr. Edgeworth? In even more detail. There's like a lot of mud on it. It's bright red raincoat, sir. Red as can be. The sight of it's making me get kind of fired up, I say. It's only the right half of a person. True. Quite the raging bull, aren't you, detective? That's me, sir. I'm always ready to charge into action. Yes, or to my defense. Let's take a closer look at the inside of the raincoat. Dr. Gumshoe, yes, sir. Blood? This is a blood stain. Considering where it's located, I'd say the blood belonged to our would-be assassin. So we're looking for someone with an injury, not just any injury, directive, an injury on their left arm. How do we know that? It's simple. The right sleeve is inside out, suggesting that the suspect removed the raincoat in a hurry. Conversely, the left sleeve is just as you would expect it to be. Therefore... Suspect's left arm was never in the sleeve in the first place. And once we understand that, everything else falls into place. Now, detective, there's a blood stain on the left side of the lining coat because the suspect's arm was too injured to fit through the sleeve. Precisely, or at least we can say that there is a good probability that that was the case. Oh my god. They were actually missing part of their left half. I can't believe it. I can believe it. The pieces are starting to fall together. Into place, rather. Oh, we got all that stuff back for that one stupid one. Detective Gumshoe, I need you to go and search the crowd for likely suspects. Yes, sir. Suspicious characters with injured left arms. Coming right up. Even smarter than you look, Ruffles. Taking all them itty-bitty pieces and put them together like that. You have your man in no time. That's Mr. Edgeworth for you. Park is still cornered off, so our would-be assassin should be in that crowd somewhere. Don't let me down, Detective Gumshoe. It's still the same day, in case you're wondering. Mr. Edgeworth, we found someone who fits the bill perfectly, sir. Way to nab the assassin, Gummy. Hold on, Kay. It's a little too soon to be jumping to conclusions. For the moment, they're a person of interest and nothing more, understood? Okay, no jumping. But he's our shooter, sir, I'm sure of it. He's the guy who tried to take out the president. In broad daylight, surrounded by a crowd of witnesses. This is no ordinary assassin. Bring him over here, detective. Carefully. Yes, sir. Come on, boys. You heard Mr. Edgeworth. Oh. I see. No umbrella. And a bandage on his left arm. Well, pal, state your name already. Doe. John Doe. Charmed, I'm sure. John Doe. Not a name you often hear in real life. That's correct. I know this man from somewhere, I'm sure of it. And you are Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth. You know my name. Of course, I've been following the day's development with some interest. Now, perhaps you care to explain why you've asked to speak with me? Edgeworth, how do you remember this man? I know, right? As you've been following our investigation, we're looking no doubt already of what we're looking for. So let me ask you, do you recognize this raincoat by any chance? Forgive me, but I'm afraid I do not. I see. Well, I believe its owner to be the would-be assassin we are seeking. My, well, isn't that just shocking? And this same would-be assassin happens to have an injured left arm, just like you. All I can tell you is that I have nothing to do with this unfortunate affair. Two adversaries stare down at each other, their eyes like deadly lasers. Care to tell the readers what happens next? A showdown, that's what. A battle of wits, a battle of words. Dare I let him explain any further what he thinks this upcoming battle will entail? No, let's not go there. Detective Gumshoe, if you've quite finished leaking my professional strategies to the press. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Thanks a bunch, you big old grouch. As if it would have done any harm. I have played an Ace Attorney game before. Stupid things like right half of a man and then they show a guy with a seam down the middle of his body. Don't you know John Doe? Brother of Jane Doe from ZZZ. Assassin. I can understand why whoever wore the raincoat would be of interest to you. We have no proof that this person is injured as you claimed. My left arm may be injured, but I can still use my right. It started raining. I simply opened my umbrella. No raincoat required. So you contend that you were not wearing a raincoat. Is that correct? It is. And is that so strange? Not everyone wears one after all. I happen to prefer an umbrella. Team raincoat over here. They're perfect for when a girl really needs to move. Heck, I don't use neither. Come rain, snow, or shine. It's my trusty parka every time. Not exactly the line of inquiry I was hoping to pursue. So I see. I am not your would-be killer. And I'm not in the habit of making baseless accusations, Mr. Doe. Please, I am just a simple ice cream Oh my. Forgive me. My wound seems to have begun bleeding again, in all the excitement. The owner of the raincoat is definitely our assassin. And said owner also has an injured left arm. Oh my god. I'm on to you, Mr. Doe. It's only a matter of time. Answer why whoever the raincoat would be of interest to you, but you have no proof that this person is injured as you claim.
Objection!
Let's not waste any time here, boys. You seem like a Eggman-looking ice cream, true. You seem like a careful man, Mr. Doe. But not quite careful enough. After all, you left something behind, something of vital importance. I'm afraid you must have me confused with somebody else. The coat does not belong to me. Or do you claim to have some kind of proof to support your accusation? Never met Shelly in person, true. Your arm isn't troubling you too much, I hope. Your arm seems to be bleeding again. I'll survive, although I can't pretend it's not something of an inconvenience. You have my deepest sympathies, because if it wasn't bleeding quite so badly, you could have perhaps made a clean getaway. What exactly are you insinuating? As we have already established, whoever wore the raincoat is injured, and now I can prove the person was you, with this decisive piece of evidence. I like that it's the ice cream that's sweating. Cream in place with his mouth? That's skill? Skill issue? You see, Mr. Doe, there's a small amount of blood on the inside of the raincoat, but that belongs to our assassin. Okay, big fan of that animation. Attempted murder of a foreign leader, causing a diplomatic incident. They'll throw the book at you. You can give us a silent treatment all you like, but we don't need you to talk. Simple blood tests will give us the answer we require. All it takes is for us to compare the blood on your bandages with that on the coat. And that will be that. We have the evidence. Why don't you make it easy on all of us and come clean? Admit that you were the one who attempted to assassinate the president of Genfa. I am not your assassin. You're stubborn, I'll give you that. But if this were a game of chess, you would have already been in checkmate. Now do the honorable thing and admit defeat. He doesn't look like a man with no moves left to play. Very well, you have me. I'll admit it. I was wearing the raincoat. He confessed. Say the word and I'll slap the cuffs on him right now. But I did not shoot at the president. What? Mr. Edgeworth, the only thing you have proven is that I was wearing a particular raincoat. And as far as I'm aware, that is not a crime. I am no sapling, I'm a simple ice cream seller. One who happened to be wearing a red raincoat while watching the president speak. I was as surprised as anyone when his bodyguard sprang into action and the shots ran out. That's when the spectators panicked and started running and screaming for their lives. Now, are you finally satisfied that I'm telling the truth? As if, your story stinks. You don't scare me. The evidence is on our side, you know. Look, it's right there, plain as day. The assassin, and they're wearing a red raincoat. Intriguing, but that is not me. Oh, come on. Tell me, Mr. Edgeworth. Do you really think I was the only one in the entire park wearing a red raincoat today? I do, actually. But then why does he seem so sure of himself? I'm no assassin, I'm simply ice cream seller. It seems like one I gotta press. A simple ice cream seller, but a knowledgeable one, I assume. The subject of ice cream, at least. But of course, ask me anything you wish. Ah! I don't know the first thing about ice cream. Owned. You know what the most important thing about making ice cream is, of course. Mr. Edgeworth? Why, the most important thing about making ice cream is to approach it with a virtuous heart. What does virtuous have to do with anything? Without proper reverence for the craft, I'm afraid all you'll ever make are sweetened crystals of ice. There, I hope you now see. I have nothing more than an ice cream seller. One who happens to be wearing a red raincoat while watching the president speak. Why a raincoat? Why are you not using an umbrella? Is that so strange? It was a rainy morning. Most people were wearing a jacket of some kind. Well, I'd say it's a pretty strange choice considering you couldn't get one of your arms into it. Better than to have one of my hands occupied by an umbrella. I had ice cream to serve, after all. Then why go through such lengths to avoid testifying to that effect in the first place? Forgive me, I simply hadn't remembered until now. It's been an eventful day, after all. Eventful? Well, I hardly know what else to call it, Mr. Edgeworth. The president of Gen 5 was shot at. Anyone that his bodyguards sprang into action and his shots ran out. So you saw the bodyguards move before you heard the gunshots? Yes. If I recall correctly, they moved first. At least, the one on the left did. Rather observant, Mr. Doe. I am blessed with keen eyes. The names of the bodyguards are written. Rook repositioned in light of Knight's injuries. Knight to immediately escort President to plan in case of emergency. The one on the left was Rook. That's correct. Bastion Rook, I believe. I expect he noticed the light from a laser sight. The man is no amateur. Mr. Doe knows a little too much about the business of being a bodyguard for my liking. True. I'd say our friend here is no amateur either. I'd like you to append what you just said to your testimony if you don't mind. As you wish. Right on the left, Bastion Rook, was especially quick to respond.
Hold it.
So the bodyguard on the left was the first to move. Well, the smallest fraction, yes. He reacted admirably swiftly. His name was Bastion Rook, did you say? He's just not the killer. He straight up was selling ice cream and just judging the assassin for his poor work. That would actually be really good. Appears you assessed the situation quite astutely. No more so than anyone else, I'm sure. He's good. He didn't even flinch. Spectres panicked and started running and screaming for their lives. I simply wouldn't have missed. That literally, I feel like if he's not the killer, he would just say that, right? Jerry's brand, calling it a strategy. So this is so true. As we all know, Ben and Jerry loves assassinating their competitors. This is a joke. I am joking. As far as I'm aware, Ben & Jerry's as a company has not ordered the assassination of any known persons. No! Clifton shipped. Ah, I'm screwed. See you in court. Damn. So you see yourself didn't start running and screaming. I was hardly in position to. Oh yeah? And what position were you in? One of extreme pain. Somebody bumped right into my wounded arm hard. It was excruciating. I thought my eyes would pop out of my head. Yeah? Well, they clearly didn't. Of course they didn't, Kay. In any event, the shooter was wearing a red raincoat. We have photographic proof of that, and yet... Mr. John Doe here swears it wasn't him. Guy's lying through his teeth, I tell you. No one gets away with disrespecting Mr. Edgeworth. Not on my watch, pal. Calm down, detective. We will get the truth out of him by catching him in a lie. Yeah, so let's keep it at him. He'll let something slip soon enough. Actually, when the shots ran out. The bodyguard on the left. In light of Knight's injury.
Objection!
Yeah, okay. I felt like this was correct, but I didn't know what it would be. As I suspected, you're more than what you claim to be, Mr. Doe. You overestimate me, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, then tell me a simple ice cream seller knows one of the presidential bodyguard's names. What? You jest, surely. You were the one who spoke their names out loud. Rook and Knight, was it?
Objection!
We only know those names thanks to the security plan. But look closely, only their surnames appear. Yet we all clearly heard you say the name Bastion Rook. How did you come to possess such information? Information we ourselves didn't have. Seems pretty darn suspicious to me. Well, how did you know? Explain yourself. It was merely a slip of the tongue. Another lie. He is the assassin, just like we said. Come now, miss. It's a little too soon to be jumping to conclusions. Oh my god. I just noticed the ice cream is literally just him. The cherry is the monocle. Look at that. That's character design right there. I did not know their names. I did know their names, yes, but the reason for that is, well, I know Mr. Rook. He and I are acquainted. What? Stan that sells food shaped like me. True. Who's holding him in that case? True, true. We have something of a connection. And his is a name I could never forget. You think we're stupid, pal? Stop lying. I am not lying. I am, as I have always been, a simple ice cream seller. And an acquaintance of Bastion Rook. Yes.
Objection!
I suppose Mr. Rook will confirm that. It should be easy enough for him to remember his good friend, the slippery ice cream seller, correct? Please, you're more than welcome to ask him, although I think that might be difficult right now. I would imagine he's rather busy ensuring the president's safety. But I suppose you are able to speak with him. He does deny that he and I are acquainted. How will that help you prove I was the shooter? You weren't the shooter. Why take off your raincoat? Because it was no longer raining. In fact, it had grown quite warm. Far better to let my wound breathe, no? Or would you rather I had left it fester? No, is he actually going to worm his way out of this? What are you waiting for, Mr. Edgeworth? Hurry up and arrest the man. He's clearly guilty. If I were you, he'd be in jail already. You might be willing to arrest a man without sufficient proof, but I am not. No, come on, Mr. Edgeworth. There's got to be something you can do. Shocking scenes here, as the culprit seems all but certain to escape justice. Sigh, it seems the court of public opinion has spoken. Very well. As I will clearly be viewed as with suspicion no matter what I say, I might as well share what I know. What you know. What's his angle here? I saw them. I saw another person with a red hood. Whoa, what? Are you kidding? The person you captured in your photograph. I noticed them just before the president's speech began. It was still raining then. Their outfit was the same color as my own, which was what drew my attention. As did the laser beam that was aimed directly at the president's head. He's claiming there was another red-hooded person. Preposterous. I knew that if anyone saw me dressed similarly to this individual, I could fall under suspicion myself. So, naturally, I removed my raincoat. Objection. So not only did you see the assassin, but they were wearing exactly the same thing as you. How very convenient. I had thought you might find it far-fetched, hence my not mentioning it before. Little Red Riding Hood. God, true. I know you law enforcement people have very skeptical types. You would never have believed me, especially not if I had said that the shooter was standing right next to a certain prosecutor. Well, I know you don't mean me. I wasn't even summoned until after the shooting. No, not you, Mr. Edgeworth. Your colleague over there. Me? Yes, the photograph will prove it, I'm sure. See, right there, in front of the person in the red hood. That's me, yes, but What exactly are you saying? What's his end game here? As I mentioned, I've been following your investigation with some interest, Mr. Edgeworth. And while pondering the details, I noticed something strange. Strange? What exactly? Come now, a man of your talent should be more than capable of spotting a contradiction such as this. I'm afraid I don't follow. Picture shows the chief prosecutor, Mr. Payne, and the shooter. But there's nothing weird about that, is there? Think carefully. The picture was taken right in the middle of the president's speech. One of the other pieces of evidence you've gathered is inconsistent with what we see here. What's Mr. Brister talking about? What piece of evidence is inconsistent with what is in this picture?
Take that!
Of course, the tape. It contradicts the photograph. Ah, so you have noticed at last. Shelly's like actually a really good character to have in the first case, huh? What's going on about Mr. Edgeworth? Someone's missing. Someone who should be here. Huh? But who? Who indeed? The person who is missing from this photograph is... Tabloid. Huh? Miss Lloyd? How do you figure that? Miss Payne's voice can clearly be heard on Miss Lloyd's tape. Considering that he was conducting a private conversation with the chief prosecutor... Oh, these two old guys standing right in front of me. They were whispering right away to each other the whole darn time. She must have been very close indeed to capture it on tape. You're right. But she's not in the picture. Precisely. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, you still believe that you have been hounding the right person? Grrr. Miss Lloyd, would you mind answering a few questions? Whoa. Y'all are fixing to put me under the microscope now. Alright, sure, knock yourselves out. I got nothing to hide. It ain't like I was standing there still the whole time. No, I was running all over, removing reporter style. And that was a big old crowd. Taken while I was in one spot and the tapes from when I was in another. So quit giving me the evil eye. Ain't nothing but a misunderstanding. Me when I'm lying. There's no doubt about the voices on the tape. That was Mr. Payne, the chief prosecutor. I'm certain of it. Tabby wouldn't lie to us. I know she wouldn't. But if she did, that would mean that she's our perp. Y'all quit messing with me, as if I could have done a thing like that. Little old me. I might be inclined to believe you if your testimony didn't contain a glaring inconsistency. It does. I thought it was pretty good. I seem to have no choice but to present her with the evidence as expose the contradiction. Alright, can I look at my evidence again? Oh, guess not. No, standing still the whole time.
Hold it!
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. You were running all over. Where exactly? Here and there and everywhere, I guess. What? You think I know? You don't know what all over means? Think I remember exactly where I was in a crowd like that? What do you want from me? I'd like you to at least tell us whether you were to the left or right of the stage. Left. Yeah, left, I think. The suspect in the picture was on the left-hand side too. Coincidence? I think not. You know, while I was in one spot and the tapes from when I was in another.
Hold it!
So the fact that you are not in this picture is to be expected. Is that what you're trying to tell us? It sure is. I caught your pals, the prosecutors, on tape while I was on one part of the crowd. And the picture was snapped while I was off in some other place. Look at it that way. It would make perfect sense. Your assertion, then, is that the picture and your recording were taken at different points in the speech. Yup, timing's everything. You hear that soon enough in a line of work. So if I can prove that the two things did happen at the same time, your entire defense will come tumbling down. Let's see. No?
Objection!
I mean, like, come on. Miss Lloyd, it's imperative for a reporter not to lie, wouldn't you say? You're danged right it is, and I don't lie. And yet, the photograph and the recording were definitely taken at the same time. What? You can't prove that. Oh, but I can. The evidence is right in these pictures. This one in particular shows something that lines up precisely with when you were making your recording. What part of the picture indicates that it must have been taken at the same time Miss Lloyd's recording?
Take that!
Here, look closely. This is the answer to your questions. I don't... Oh, no, wait. Sorry, that's my bad. My brain, it just forgot something. That's my bad. That's my bad. Yeah. Look, I had to recall what was said, okay? It's this. Right here. The hand in the air.
Take that!
See here, the president has his fist raised. And what about it? Would you be so kind as to play us the tape again? It ain't that simple. What if I were to tell you that you don't have a choice? You don't make it easy, do you, Ruffles? Remember, we are concerned with the moment the president raised his fist. No criminalization, no matter how big, is above the law. The president thrusts his fist into the air as the excitement reaches fever pitch. There, that's the moment right there. Correct. We now confirmed when it occurred in the recording. Which means Tabby should be in the picture too. And she is, right there for us all to see. For Miss Lloyd is in fact the person with the red hood. What? So, you're our shooter, huh? No. I don't even own a jacket like that. That's right. From everything we know, the owner of the red raincoat is... John Doe. We've already proven that the raincoat belongs to Mr. Doe. You, Miss Lloyd, were wearing something else, something that also happened to have a red hood. So where? There are two people wearing red hoods all along. Indeed, Mr. Doe's last statement was true. Wait, we only found one raincoat. Where's the other one? Our ice cream seller never mentioned a raincoat, only a red hood. You tell us about your jacket again, Miss Lloyd. This old thing. Well, the best thing about it is, like I said, if you get mud on it and such, it's reversible, see? So you just turn it inside out and... Eek! Just as I thought. The inside of her hood, it's... red! That's right. And when the incident occurred, that's the side of your hood that was visible. What's going on here? What are you really up to, huh, pal? Well, wait, I never even wore it that way around. Perhaps you would allow us to examine it if we could confirm it for ourselves. And you're gonna what are you gonna confirm exactly? It was raining right up until the president's speech, correct? That much has been established already. And as yourself said, heck, I don't use neither. Come rain, sleet, or shine, it's my trusty parka every time. You haven't reversed your parka since the rain, and the inside should be dry. Well, wait a second, I got a big old backpack on, see, so I can't take off my jacket. Yeah, and maybe I could show y'all some other time? You ain't gonna excuse that week is gonna wash with Mr. Edgeworth? Aw. Well, what are you waiting for? If you're innocent, take it off and show us. It wasn't me, I swear. I never shot the dang president, I could never. If that's true, Miss Lloyd, then your best option is to cooperate and tell us the truth. Is there a particular reason why you chose to wear a parka with a red hood here today? Sorry, Ruffles. There's something I never told you. Something I couldn't. But I'll come clean, I promise. Just go easy on me now, you hear? What? Who said that? Hold your horses. It's a little soon for the endgame. Hello, Knight. That goes for you too, Mr. Prosecutor. You lost this one the moment you made your opening move. That's one of the men from Kay's photograph. I guess I better introduce myself. Name's Bronco Knight. I'm the president's personal bodyguard. I mean, sick moves, but can you put that down? And second in command of his security detail. Eek. Point that thing somewhere else, pal. What the heck is wrong with you? Finger on the trigger and everything. Yeah, that's not good gun safety. Sorry, can't help myself. It's just too much fun being this good. You're not a member of law enforcement, so how did you get a gun? This old girl's on loan from Genfa, temporarily issued to us presidential bodyguards. Anyway, never mind that. I got tidbits of news for you. You want the good or the bad first? Choice is yours. I'm indifferent, whichever you prefer. Really, you're giving up the first move advantage, just like that. Whatever, your loss. Guess I'll push on the pawn first, then. So you play a little chess, I take it. Ah, fellow fan, are you, Mr. Red Suit? The name's Edgeworth, and you could say I dabble. Duly noted, Mr. Edgeworth. All right, I'll start with the good news. The president's okay. Didn't suffer as much as a scratch. He didn't. That's a relief. Particularly for the young lady here. That means there's no longer a murder charge on the table. That is good news, hey, Tabby? Yeah, because I never... Now for the bad news. The only reason the president's alive is because we bodyguards did our job. One of us did anyhow, our boss. Put himself in the line of fire. You're referring to your colleague, Mr. Rook. Yeah, it's game over for him. No way! Rook is dead. A genuine loss. So, you're saying that Tabby... Yeah, your friend here killed my colleague. My brother in arms. Aw, heck no. I didn't do it. I didn't kill anybody. I could never. I'd shut my mouth if I were you, murderer. Sure, we did what we had to do. Sacrifice one of our pieces to protect the king. But to lose someone like him during our castling, a real shame. Is this entire case a fucking chess pun? Castling, what's that even mean? It's a chess term. A very simplistically speaking, it's a move where a rook switches place with the king. Then why didn't you just say so? Mr. Knight, was it? Yeah, what? We'll need to see the victim's body right away. And if possible, I'd like to ask the president a few questions. Sorry, no can do. And why not? That's the third piece of news, and it's the piece you're gonna like the least. I thought you said there were only two. The National Police Force of Genfa will be handling things from here. What? You better be kidding, pal. This investigation was assigned to us. We're not about to hand it over. You're the Edgeworth, right? The one who solved the Yatagarasu case. The president mentioned you. I'm honored to have warranted his attention. Makes sense that the chief prosecutor would assign this one to you. Wait, the chief assigned me to appease the president? But that was a mistake, a big one. You should have given the case to someone with a spine. You're free to talk it up with President Wang. If you enjoy diplomatic incidents, that is. Ah. And passants, no way, true. You're coming with me. We'll continue this on the presidential plane. No. I never did nothing, I swear. We can do this the hard way if you like, but in Genfa, justice is served one way or another. Ruffles, come on, you gotta help me out here, please. Miss Lloyd. She was the one in the red hood. There's no denying that now. But I can't help feeling we still don't know the whole truth behind this case. I'm innocent. You gotta believe me. Can I really let this happen? Is this really how it ends? The look in her eyes, the crack in her voice as she begs me to help her. This is no act by a criminal. She's genuinely scared. If I let him take her, we'll never know what really happens. Eek! What? Huh? What the? Get your filthy hands off. Quiet now. Is that really any way to greet me? Your neck has barely begun to heal and you've already forgotten who I am. I'm disappointed. What? It's you! Ah, so you do remember. What do you think you're doing, pal? Put the knife down and give it up. You got some nerve pulling a stunt like this in front of a bunch of police officers. Don't even think about it. You don't stand a chance against this guy. Who are you really, Mr. Doe? You got the same face. Let's just say that I'm no simple ice cream seller. Guy's a pro, a hitman. His name's Shelly the Killer. The Killer? There's not a legal professional in the country who doesn't know that name. An assassin capable of taking down any target, any place, any time. This isn't the first time our paths have crossed. Shelly, let's go! It's been too long, Mr. Edgeworth. But of course, this is the first time we've met face to face. You're the assassin we've been looking for. In a sense, yes. A certain someone did indeed hire me to carry out a contract. And that contract did indeed specify that I was to assassinate President Wang. I swear I've seen his picture in one of my old files before, but how could I have been so careless? My bandage proved useful for bringing a knife into the park undetected. But I miscalculated in certain other regards. He didn't bring a gun. Now, shall we play a little game, Mr. Knight? I know how fond you are of such diversions. The stakes must be high in order for it to be fun. Of course, shall we wager, say, your life? What did you want from me? What do you want from me? I would like for you to allow Mr. Edgeworth to remain in charge of the case. He what? What are you up to, Killer? I would simply like our mutual friend to see things through to their conclusion. Huh? But why? Bastian Rook was a man of great skill, one with whom I felt a certain connection. It is only right that the truth behind this death be brought to light. With Mr. Rook's departure, the case is now yours to investigate, is it not, Mr. Knight? I'm simply asking you to transfer that authority to Mr. Edgeworth. It is not something worth losing your life over, surely. You're just using investigation as an excuse to get close to the president. Am I really? I suppose it is true that in order for the investigation to proceed, we will need to enter the presidential plane. They are to let you near him. I'm his chief bodyguard. Are you? And here I thought you were only second in command. Rook's not around. That means I'm number one. I wonder if you have what it takes to step into such capable shoes. You, of course I do. I'm the leader now. Me! If that is indeed the case, then I would ask you to make a choice worthy of a leader. Would you necessarily throw your life away, or will you allow the investigation to continue? Nah. Is he really doing this to gain access to the president? Does he even need to? What is he plotting? You have no objections, I trust, Mr. Edgeworth. Come, let us continue the investigation. What do we do, sir? It seems we have little choice but to do as we're told. That said, listen, detective, and listen well. I'll buy us some time as I investigate. Meanwhile, you gather the other officers. Have them surround the plane and make absolutely certain that there's no way he can escape. Yes, sir, you got it. The plane then take a hostage. To be continued. Well, 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 gamers. It's not the end of the stream. Do not get it twisted. But do you know what time it is? Oh, so there's a crown like 5 feet to the left. True. It's icicle time. Evil eye time. You got it. Passive. Character rebirth. Oh no, that's a sore spot. Okay. That wasn't rebirth, right? Afterbirth. Afterbirth. I don't know why I said rebirth. Afterbirth. Afterbirth. Afterbirth character item. Unlock. Passive. A Lumbercat is now playing Blue Revolver. You've been playing this shit for a while. What is it? 1 second. Shooting up build for newcomers and psychos. I see. I see. Lumbercat do be a psycho when it comes to shoot 'em ups, so that's perfect for them. All right, I have an idea. Let's try to get the room. I think it might be a devil room item. What is it? Something I of Belial. Ooh, 3. That's Afterbirth Plus. Dang it. Angel? Maybe like Prism? Oh, hello there. Sensor. Boom, got it. Easy. I know my angel deal items. I feel like if I get like angel deal only, it's something I can get with like fairly good regularity. 13 again. Game progression. Ah, fuck. Game progression. Something you unlock probably for beating maybe, I don't know. Give me like a rainbow worm. Okay, so it is a color. Not from Afterbirth. Maybe Repentance? Adoption papers. It is Repentance. Well, that's... I don't know any of the trinkets unlocked via the alternative path. Shit. I'm gonna need the I literally have no idea. I'm just gonna like put in something. Faded Polaroid. Okay. Lullaby? Let's get something. Coins item charge. Is this just charged penny? Okay, whatever. Hey, you know, sometimes it's literally just that easy. Isaac next time. Okay, I see paper. 2 paper, but no more than 2. That's not good. Oh, frick. Little brimstone, little Loki, little chub, little plum. Items that look happy. Fuck you. Sure. Piece of shit. I. Oh man. Smilers. That's exactly what we meant. You're okay. We have some health regen here as well. I don't think we have. I think we only have 2 for health regen. Uh, Sacred Orb is a item room change. I think this, and this all change to your item room. Passive items that don't change Isaac's appearance or aren't familiar. Fuck you? Huh? um, I think, are these all Eve unlocks? No. Primary color is gray. Nope. We made a whole essay for that category. Yerp. Goth Mall Kid Court. We could go like boom, 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 boom. That doesn't seem like it's helpful though. Like I'm assuming it's these 2 because they have something in common. Dull razor blade. I think Eve items is probably right. I think it's these 3, but that didn't even give us anything. It might not be that though. Like, what does Rotten Baby have in common with anything else here? Cracked Orb is Eve 2? Oh. Yep. What do these have in common? Items that drop from obstacles. This is the worst. This is up there for one of the worst boards of all time. Items that drop from obstacles? What does Rotten Baby drop from? Oh my god. Let me look at the Rotten Baby. Isaac. Rotten Beggar? That's not an obstacle. Oh my god. Rotten Baby can rarely drop from polyps in the corpse. Fuck you. Piece of shit. No one knew that. I refuse to believe anyone knew that. All right, what do we got here? The perfect time to get, 2 out of 10 familiar. Ryan babies, it's okay. It's not like the worst. Evolved by item, but is also a normal type. Okay. Give me Porygon 2. Fire evolved by item. Kinda blinking. There's like a lot of Firestone boys. Right? I can go like Arcanine, Hisui, I think. That's a pretty good one. Water evolved by item. This one, I can go with like Gorbis. It's like my go-to. Mono normal. Eevee is probably the highest. Tauros is probably okay. Kangaskhan Mega is probably pretty good. But I've already used it, so I'll just go with Kangaskhan. Ooh, that actually was pretty nice. So it actually specifically be Rotten Baby from Corpse 2. Yerp. That don't change Isaac appearance or aren't familiar is an all-time classic. It's maybe the worst category we've seen so far. And we've seen like doesn't have a black pixel. Which is another all-time banger category. You know what? Slugma. How about like Arrow, Skewed? I already done it. How about Barrow? Yeah, I haven't used this one yet. Nice. 0.6, very unpopular one, I guess. How about Araquanid? Europe. Fire. Give me like Zen. Galar. Okay, Darmanitan. Jeez. I guess I could just go with regular Darmanitan. Europe. Final evolution. Oh, Lopunny. No one chooses that. They're too scared. Told you. Ah, man. Ah, man. There's some real stinkers on this one. Holy. That's a... first of all, really? The hell is Delcatty's a stone evolution? Is it a moonstone? The fuck? Yeah, what the hell? I didn't know that. I don't think I've ever used Delcatty. Cincino, Chansey, Wigglytuff, Porygon Z, and Porygon 2. All right. Good job, gamers. We succeeded, but at what cost? The death of Bastion Rook and the reevaluation that Shelly DeKiller was in our midst. The case had taken a turn we could have never predicted. Mr. Knight ordered that the door to the presidential plane be opened, and the emergency personnel attending to Mr. Rook's body were asked to leave. The scene cleared, we stepped cautiously aboard. No president in sight. Now where could he be? Who knows? Ah, so he's hiding behind the bulkhead door over there, is he? As courageous in the face of danger as ever. Ha! Sorry to disappoint you, but did you still expect him to be standing here waiting to meet his assassin? As we have already established, my interest lies only in the successful conclusion of this investigation. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, if you'd be so kind as to examine the body. Alright. My only option right now is to play along. The rest is up to you, Detective Gumshoe. So, the attempted assassination of the president has become the murder of a bodyguard. You look like you'd use a little help there, Mr. Edgeworth. Not that I need it, but yes. That's what I thought. Then there's nothing else for it. Kay Faraday, great thief extraordinaire, will just have to take it from here. Oh, really? You mean you're going to solve the case for me? Nope. Well, I thought not. But I will provide vital assistance. Now let's get to scurrying scouring this crime scene from top to bottom. It'll take Detective Gumshoe a while to assemble our backup, so we'll need to draw this part of the investigation out as long as possible. Bah. I shall scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my eye. The bullet seems to have entered just under his armpit and went through his body. He was hit in an area his bulletproof vest didn't cover. Like it was on purpose or something, huh? Cause of death would appear to be loss of blood. Attempts were made to staunch it, but to no avail. The medics must have been brought in to try and save him. Sadly, it was too little too late. It's a bulletproof attach case? Bodyguards use them to shield their clients from gunfire. There were some in Kay's photograph, too. Oh, I see. He was shot by Mr. Knight. Bulletproof attach case jolted down in my organizer. Oh, hey, that's the photo I snatched. You can hardly steal a photo at a public event, okay? But I'm snatching up a moment in time with every picture I take, you know? My evidence as a surprise witness? Alright, what you got? You tall surprise guy? Origin wins? True. Hehehe, maybe. Gun. So the victim was also carrying a revolver. Looks like he was trying to use it. Probably drew it on instinct when he felt threatened. I come from the future. Hell yeah. Love to hear it. We should check to see if he managed to find any rounds off. All there. No signs of the weapon having been used. Was this one on loan from Venshaw too? Yup, sure was. But always issue with the same model gun. Gun. It's the victim, Mr. Bastion Rook, bodyguard to the president of Genfa. I feel like I've seen this emo before. Whose is this? Plurp. I like the emote of the fish eating stuff. It's good. Which means he continued to do his duty right up until his dying breath. At least he's getting posthumously promoted. Okay, it's better to know when to not say nothing at all than to end up with your foot in your mouth. What do you mean? I mean, bodyguards don't even operate on the same rank promotion system as the police in the first place. Nothing odd with his shoes. There is a lot of blood. Jesus. There are two large rectangles cut into the floor here. I can see hinges through the gaps. An emergency entrance disguised as an emergency exit. All the president would need to do is lower his rope ladder to make his miraculous escape, which would make it an exit, not an entrance. Which is it? It's an exit, but it's used as an entrance, but disguised as an exit. Yeah, I think? Congratulations, you've even confused yourself. That's quite the achievement. Yeah, that seems to be all we got there. I didn't do it. I'm a reporter. I bag scoops, not souls. But then why lie about your jacket and the laser sight? That was, I just knew y'all would think it was fishy. Is that really all it was? Please, you gotta believe me. I could never do something like this. I'd like to tell you everything will be alright, but just try not to worry too much. If you really are innocent, I'll prove it, one way or another. Thanks, Chief. I believe in you. How many times must I tell you? I am not your chief. Oh, sorry, Ruffles. Clean forgot you were Chief number 2. That's not what I meant. Sigh. Someone left an inflatable boat and oar here. Probably so it's ready to go at any time. Wait, but there's only one oar. You can still row with one oar, you know. True. 2 gas masks in case of poison gas attack, I suppose. The president certainly seems to think he's at risk of assassination at all times. Wow, gas masks. I've never seen one before. I've heard plenty about them, of course. Oh, from a fellow thief, I presume. No, from the Jammin' Ninja, you know, my favorite kids' TV show. Princess Murasaki was getting married, but toxic ninja Wolfsbane showed up to lay down some sick burns. And time to tune out. Might save us with a brain cell or two. Bro, you're a Steel Samurai super fan. Shut up, nerd. I'm a scour the scenes. Likely ban evader. Wow, I've never seen a bot get caught out for that. I'm gonna scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. That looks heavy. So this is what a president wears, huh? So I just made it something super special. Yes, protect him from bullets. What? So it's not just for show? Of course not. This is a bulletproof vest. Oh, so that's what one of these looks like. Why didn't you just say so? Now I feel silly. These personal safety alarms are very colorful. Looks like they get a lot of use as well. I like the president. He seems like a thoughtful guy. Buying these for his kids, maybe his wife too. Why would they all be here if that was the case? No, these are for his own personal use. Objection, Your Honor. It's simply not possible for one person to use this many personal alarms. Why, you ask? Because he is human and therefore possesses only 2 hands. 20 hands wouldn't be enough to count the number of objections I have for that objection. A curious figure of a curious animal with a curious expression is staring right at me. Okay, Francisco. And look, there's a big lever right by its butt. Don't even think about it. Oh, I wasn't thinking anything, I swear. I imagine that lever opens the panels beneath my feet. Ah, I see. So he's standing on a trap door. I strongly advise you do not pull it. Do so, and you will regret it. You know, I'm okay with taking some advice, especially when it's from a professional killer. That's true. That's very true. Documents of some kind. We could always steal a glance. Also covered in case of amphibious assault. The president's safety is paramount. Spectator areas should be covered at all times. Another security plan. Oh yeah, like the ones from the trash can. Precisely. But wait, something feels off. Everything?
Eureka!
The 2 plans are different. Was the security detail reorganized at some point, huh? Oh, you're right. March 24th. Yeah, we made some last-minute changes yesterday. President's orders. Why the urgency? Because of what happened the day before. The killer here tried to take him down. He infiltrated the security detail, posed as one of us. Rook figured it out first, but not before the guy got within striking distance of the president. If our leader hadn't stepped in just then, we'd have been out of a job. But he made it, and our friend here wound up with a seriously twisted arm. Rick pulled a bullet in it for good measure, too. And where were you while this was happening? You were the first one I overpowered, were you not? Oh, that's embarrassing. Shut up, kid. Now I get it. Your neck has barely begun to heal, and now you've forgotten who I am. I'm disappointed. What? It's you! Busted my neck up so bad I can't even look to my right. I was somewhat astonished to have sustained an injury at all. A testament to Mr. Rook's skill. He is a true master of his craft. Unlike a certain other someone I could mention. I'm just as good as he ever was. You are a pawn to his queen, my young friend. What the heck do you know? So that's why you remember Mr. Rook's name. You admire his skill as a bodyguard. Indeed. While I was serving on the team, I learned the names of all the operatives. But his in particular stayed with me. It joined the very short list of people who have ever successfully wounded me. So that's the connection he was talking about. And that's why we changed up the security plan. Had to be sure there weren't any more assassins in the rank. President didn't want anyone on stage he didn't trust, and he only trusts 2 people, me and Rook. How does that explain your change of position? Oh yeah, you switched over to the right-hand side. I told you, I can't turn my neck to the right. Could only cover the president's left side. So I wound up moving to the right side of the stage. Okay, alright. President's on the other side of this door. And what a door it is. Bet I could get the better of it, though. Get the better of it. Doors aren't there to be beaten. Look how heavy it is. Look at that lock. It's just sitting there begging for me to try it. Calm down, Kay, and think. Why might this door be locked? For me to open it, of course. Precisely. For you to open it, of course. Wait. What is the right answer anyway? A riot shield, and next to it, a canary in a cage. Aw, she's so sweet. I want one. Do you ever see a cuter partner in crime? Partner in crime? Well, yeah, she could help me with lockpicking, stuff like that. A great thief has no greater ally than nature, Mr. Edgeworth. Sadly, such birds are most commonly used for detecting poisonous gas. Never put birds in crime scenes again. That's true. They're not used for detective poisoning gas so much as alarming. Like, they detect it the same way, like... like... I'm trying to think of a good comparison, because they're not detecting it because they can, like, figure it out, right? They're detecting it because they literally fucking die, right? Yeah. Wait, this one isn't actually for that, is it? It might be for that, but it's not high enough. They have to be higher than your mouth. It's a bank of monitors displaying camera feeds from in and out of the plane. I must scour the scene and inspect everything that catches my eye. What on earth is this? Oh, that? It's the president's favorite plushie. It's a memento of something. Anyway, don't touch. But if that's the case, then why has it been left there, up there like no one cares about it? Yeah, that is pretty weird. It certainly wouldn't be the first place I would think to display a beloved item. Wait, are those shards of glass underneath it? I thought something seemed strange about this cubbyhole, but now I'm sure of it. There's almost certainly another monitor here. This monitor is for displaying a fee in this very room. They didn't go cheap when they bought these, huh? Very high res. I'm afraid I can't tell myself, but I can even see the little crow's feet around your eyes. Oh, my bad. They're just the usually deeply etched lines, you know, on your forehead. You're quite finished. These monitors are displaying the cockpit and parts of the plane's exterior. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. Huh? Okay. That's the outside of the plane. Most intruders cannot hope to approach without being spotted, but such measures would be mere child's play in my case. Whoa, you're saying you can get past cameras like these without being seen? Of course, with ease. You have to teach me how, please. Are you taking on apprentices by any chance? Kay, you do realize who you're talking to, don't you? Sorry. His favorite static channel, don't worry. Had to ask though, what a great skill for a great thief to know. Unfortunately for you, I'm not the type to take on understudies. You're not, huh? Shame. Shame? In what way exactly? I mean, he is a professional, man. You can't deny that. I have high hopes for your investigation. I do hope you won't betray my trust in you. Things are progressing well, I hope. There's no need to worry. Things are progressing just fine. Remember, I absolutely despise betrayals of any kind. Yes, I know. Indeed you do. So please do take care not to double-cross me. Accidentally or otherwise. Really don't have no choice but to do as he says for now. Can't believe I let an assassin onto the president's plane. Do you know very well it's for the good of the investigation, Mr. Knight. Don't give me that. I know what you really want. You do indeed, because you heard me say it already. I wish to know the truth behind Mr. Rook's death. But you did also say you were asked to assassinate the president by a certain someone? You seem to have forgotten that there are more pressing matters at hand. Gurk, ack. I don't often carry out unpaid work, but it's not entirely unheard of. Fine, I'll get back to the investigation. Good. I'm expecting great things from you, Mr. Edgeworth. Alright. It's time to logic some stuff, I feel. Where did it end up? Are these connected? Yerp. 2 bullets were fired in total. We know this because 2 shots were heard. One traveled through the flag and into the balloon. The other took Mr. Rook's life. Well, there's a bullet in the president's vest too, right? How is that possible? How indeed, the numbers don't add up. However, there's one possible explanation, there is. After passing through his body, the bullet that took Mr. Rook's leg found itself lodged in the vest. In other words, 2 of our bullets were in fact 1. No way! He's right. If the president hadn't been wearing that vest, things could have been a lot worse. And he wasn't injured at the time by the impact. Even when instructed by a vest, a bullet can inflict serious damage. Sure, I've known guys who got broken bones that way. But the president's okay. He made of strong stuff. Sounds like he didn't even need a vest. Let's not get carried away here. I want that bullet's ballistic markings analyzed. Remind me what those are again. Guns leave a unique pattern of grooves on every bullet they fire. By examining these grooves, we can use them to identify which gun it came from. Think of them as fingerprints of sort. You can tell from all a bullet. Then what are we waiting for? Analyze. Might be easier said than done. That bullet hit solid armor. The impact will completely flatten it. You'd be lucky if there's anything left for forensics to find. What? But I was all set for some analyzing. These are the same kind of gun. 2 guns are exactly the same, meaning it's likely that the one we found is also from Zhen Fa. Bodyguards all got their guns from Zhen Fa authorities, right? Yes. Are they like super rare or anything? No, I don't believe so. This model isn't exactly easy to come by in this country, but it's certainly not impossible either. Boo, and here I thought they might be valuable treasures. Yes, it's something like of a shame. Well, I just mentioned treasure and you actually responded for once. I meant to point out that if the guns were rare, it would be much easier to trace them, which would have made them treasures of the evidence variety, I suppose. Ha, see, everything's a treasure hunt one way or another, including the investigation. You could say that. All right, then, it's treasure hunting time. On with the investigation. She certainly seems a lot more enthusiastic all of a sudden. Yum yum. That's why I have investigation for now. What is taking so long, Detective Gumshoe? Well, Mr. Redruth, have you solved the case? No, not yet. Is that so? Then perhaps interviewing another key witness might help you do so. Another key witness? Who? You don't mean the most important witness of all, the man on the other side of that door. He really intends to have me question the president. Now, if you would be so kind as to summon him, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop right there, Killer. You're nuts if I think I'd let him anywhere near you. Well, Mr. President, I'm sure you are watching us through your security feed, aren't you? In which case, I politely request that you show yourself. That is, if you value your bodyguard's life. Grrr. Grrr, add one to the grrr counter. Well then, if nothing else, we now know what kind of man you really are. Mr. President, stop, you can't do this. Let's all just calm down, alright? Come on, detective, where's the blazes are you? Eek, the lights. What's happened? Listen well, Mr. Edgeworth. I would advise you to stay very still. It seems I will not be granted my audience with the president after all, even with Mr. Knight's life as my bargaining chip. No, stop. Nya. Eek. Okay, you won't get away with this, Killer. I've seen enough, and now I know the truth. Where are you? Where did you go? Ah! I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Mr. Edgeworth. Edgeworth. Detective Gumshoe. Sir, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. 07 Shelley. He killed us. I must have been knocked unconscious. Sir, you're okay. Oh, you're right, Mr. Edgeworth. Never mind me. He didn't hurt you, did he, Kay? Nah, I'm fine. Only just woke up myself. My head will be sore for a while, but that's about it. So you can stop worrying. Detective, did you manage to stop the killer? Well, see, Miss Lloyd came running out of the plane. She told us he'd flown the coop. We were too late. I'm sorry, sir. Bodyguard over there told us something, too. Seems there's an inflatable boat missing from by the window. The killer must have stolen it and rowed himself across the lake. He ran at a bar while Shelly was there. You know what would happen if we ran at a bar while Shelly was there? Would he just kill Rook? Maybe. One-arm inflatable rowing? Sure. I'd ask everyone back in to stake out the plane. Even the guy stationed across the water. No! So he completely slipped through our fingers. Not the best look for the department, but yeah. Hey, Edgeworth, Mr. Knight. You're alive. Yeah, thanks to that murderer. No thanks to that murderer. Oh, that reminds me. I found this lying on the ground next to you, Mr. Edgeworth. A calling card marked with a seashell. Guess he wanted to leave a message. Distinctive. The killer usually leaves these next to the bodies of his victims, but you're not dead, sir. But I could have been. Maybe that's the message. Can't stop thinking about his parting words. I've seen enough, and now I know the truth. I leave the rest in your capable hands, Mr. Edgeworth. The truth about what? Roger that. I'll clear out here, sir. Over. And what's going on? That was the president. He's coming out. Now. Bro. Dude's absolutely shredded. What the fuck? So he's the president of Zhenfa, Mr. Ju Wang. And you are? It's an honor to meet you, Mr. President. My name is Miles Edgeworth. The honor is all mine, Mr. Edgeworth. I am Ju Wang. Guy looks like what's his name? True. Your efforts on behalf of Zhenfa have not gone unnoticed. You averted something of a crisis. You must be referring to the Yagarasu case. Thank you, sir. But all I did was solve a few local cases of murder. You are too humble. I've been observing your investigation. You are an impressive operator, Mr. Edgeworth, even if Dick Killer did get away. That's very kind of you to say. So he was watching through his security feed. Oh, you know what? You're right. You're very right, actually. Sadly, I must inform you that this is as far as your investigation goes. What do you mean? Hear me, foolish prosecutor, for I shall only say this once. Knight has appraised me of the state of affairs. From this point forward, the case will be handled by Zhenfa's police force, the finest in the world. Even with the killer out of the picture, they're still looking to get me thrown off the case. What do you think you're doing, pal? Nobody talks to Mr. Edgeworth that way. If it hadn't been for him, the killer would have... Detective. Forgive him, Mr. President, but I must confess to being somewhat confused. I fail to see how or why this case falls within Zhenfa's jurisdiction. You fail to see. Enough. Puny prosecutor. You seek explanations from a head of state. I say no. 1,000 times no. I will not. Well, he sure is a head of state. Ain't that right, chat? So true. One second. My cables are getting tangled. The last thing I need right now. No longer. Now hand over the evidence you have gathered and remove yourself from this plane. I'd do as you say if I were you, Edgeworth. This can't really be the end of the line, can it? The case evidence handed to Mr. Knight. Why? Why let us come so far only to pull the case out from under us? Now, you may leave. Knight, detain the suspect. Yes, sir, right away. To make an attempt on my life, to murder one of my faithful servants, the effrontery, the villainy. I didn't murder nobody. 'Cause I Shut your mouth, Miss Journalist. I... Answer me this. In a world already lousy with lies, with deception, with sin and inequity, can we stand by and suffer yet another crime go unpunished? I say no, 1,000 times no. There can be no forgiveness. There can be no surrender. Why, you ask me, then I tell you. He's hiding something. I'm certain of it. And if I leave now, we'll never know the truth. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Mr. Edgeworth, there's got to be something we can do. Think, Miles. Remember, how many times have you faced situations like this in the courtroom? You've confronted the lies of witnesses and countered the arguments of other lawyers. Has the critical evidence always been laid at your feet? No. And you always got to the truth of the situation in the end. Me when I'm Edgeworth and I'm ignoring the entire first game. With your greatest weapon of all, your words. Alright, here we go. Now let's analyze the state of play. Begone, puny prosecutor. Do you dare defy the direct orders of a president? He's not going to listen. He clearly means to drown out any objections by means of pure rhetorical force. My opponent is on the offense. The best thing I can do is bide my time and wait for an opening. As he said himself, he's a head of state, a seasoned politician. He won't open himself up to attack easily. Leave the company in the background just watching us. True. I can't have him bully me into submission. I have to stay calm and alert. If I can read his movements and expressions correctly, I may be able to find my moment. My first aim should be to find out why he's insisting on Zhenfa taking over the case. The board is set. Time to make my opening gambit. What kind of gambit? You at least explain to me why I'm off the case. Imbecile, cease your insolent jabberings. I will not explain myself to you. My reasonings are my own, and none they concern with you. If I want to take this any further, I'll need a clue of some kind. Let me try another tact for now. Please, about the case. Did I give you permission to speak? No, 1,000 times no. I'm the leader of Zhenfa. I have no time for your insolent backchat. I was simply hoping to confirm one basic fact. You say that the investigation will now be assigned to your national police force? I do. Now enough. Enough of your pointless questions. Good boy. The interior of this plane is the sovereign territory of Zhenfa. You have no rights here. Is that so? Could it be that our current location itself is significant somehow? I should keep that in mind. It would be a useful clue. You at least explain to me why I'm off the case. Imbecile, cease your jabbering. I will not explain myself to you. Perhaps it's time to apply my clue. In the course of our conversation, I deduce certain facts from your behavior, Mr. President. For example, you seem particularly aggressive when discussing our current location. Huh. You smarmy smart aleck. As you said yourself, the presidential plane is the sovereign territory of Zhenfa. And for that, we can infer that you believe the rules of extraterritoriality apply inside of here. Is that correct? Enough. Cease your objectionable whining. Do I go for it? If you have nothing else to say, then stop wasting my time and get out of my sights. Maybe there is such a thing as biding my time too much. Okay, that's fair. Onto the back foot. I have to stay calm and alert. If I can read his movements and expressions correctly. Okay. I don't know if, like, a knight is, like, an... I don't know. This just seems like something Edgeworth would never say. You can rant and roar all you like, but you won't escape my scrutiny. It was unmistakable. The moment I mentioned extraterritoriality, you became visibly agitated. You think you're clever, don't you? Let me answer your little question. It's true, extraterritoriality applies. Your laws mean nothing here. And why does that matter, you ask? It matters because it means you are powerless. You have neither influence nor authority here. Interesting. So the extraterritoriality issues does have something to do with this after all. Heh. This motherfucker. Heh. You You just fell into my trap card. Let's dig a little deeper into the claim. The plane is sovereign territory, shall we? The next move will surely decide the victor. He may be the president, but nobody is untouchable. Said extraterritoriality 5 times recently. He may be the president, but nobody is untouchable. Oh. 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 Just gonna make my drink real quick. Don't mind me. Just gonna make my drink real quick as I let this stay on screen for a second. All right. I just have to find the right angle of attack. You've overplayed your hand. Surely you see they have overplayed your hand. Nobody asked for your opinion. You need only obey me, nothing else. You dare tell me how to govern, how to lead. You dare contradict me. On the matter of Miss Lloyd's guilt, yes, I do. No, she is guilty. She is the culprit. There is nothing left to debate. I must have realized by now what a massive corner you've talked yourself into. Worthless, meaningless blunder. Some pathetic ploy to buy time, perhaps. Ugh, maybe it was a little pathetic to chime in right there. Nah, I still think this is the right play. Who else could have fired from outside the plane? There's no other viable suspect. Fascinating. So he's claiming that Miss Lloyd fired at him from outside the plane. This could be a vital clue. You believe that extraterritoriality applies here, but can you prove it? Do you even understand what you are asking? Of course, if I didn't, I wouldn't ask it. Have you no shame calling into question the good word of one such as myself? I have no more time for this. You clearly cannot be saved from your own foolishness. You don't worry about me. I'm not the one who needs saving. That would be Miss Lloyd, the woman who is being wrongfully accused of this crime. Your chivalry is admirable, but it changes nothing. The right to extraterritoriality cannot be denied. This is Genfa. Time to deploy my clue. I may not be able to call the externality of this presidential plane into doubt. However, according to you, she shot at you from outside the aircraft, correct? In which case, extraterritoriality could not possibly apply in this case. Your assertion is entirely without merit, and the detainment of Miss Lloyd cannot be justified. Yeah! How could I have bested by a mere prosecutor, but I am the president! The president! Checkmate. This guy is... Edgeworth is such a piece of shit. It's unbelievable. I trust you won't mind if we continue our investigation now, Mr. President. Grrr! Add it to the grrr counter. I hereby officially and unreservedly confirm my approval. Consider a gesture of the magnanimity and generosity of which my good office is known. Yes, for without noble acts such as these, unmistakably and irrefutably, for which reason we hereby... I'm here to... Did this guy come here to, like, thank us? Yep. People of Genfa, I swear to you, here and now, this investigation will continue. All that when he could have just said, okay, you got me. Mr. Knight, if you would care to return the evidence, take it. This guy really is president. True. We did it, Mr. Edgeworth. We sure did. And now the investigation can continue. Whatever, enjoy your pocket full of pawns. I'll be over here enjoying how you put them into play. Huh. Then you will definitely enjoy my next move. Mr. President, one more favor if you would be so kind. What is it? Could you please give us your testimony concerning the incident itself? Now you want me to testify? Whoa, that's your next move. You want the president to testify, you'll have to take him to court. All in good time, Mr. Knight. He will get his day in court soon enough. But if a person of interest refuses to cooperate at the investigative stage of the process, they are obliged to provide detailed justification as for their reasonings for doing so. That's... What's the matter? Is there something you'd rather we didn't know? Stand down, Knight. I'll do as the prosecutor asks. Thank you for your cooperation. Now listen, and listen well. President's testimony. Where was I when the incident occurred? The stage, of course. Suddenly, Rook and Knight jumped in front of me. Then, bang, a shot ran out. The plain unblemished balloon of red exploded. What? 1 second. Alright, sorry. I feel like this guy tried to stage his own death. It's possible. Then bang, a shot ran out and a plain, unblemished balloon of red exploded nearby. Oh. Click that, click this. No hesitating for even an instant. My bodyguard tried to escort me back to safety on the plane. And then the second shot. The bullet went right through Rook and lodged itself in the bulletproof vest I was wearing. I guess if you look at it in one way, the president is also a victim here. Yeah, you don't say, Kay. Yes, the victim of an attempted assassination. Rook was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. But that makes it even weirder. Why would the target of a crime try to obstruct the investigation? Well, I guess there's something behind all of this that he doesn't want to made public. A cover-up, huh? I knew there was more to this case than meets the eye. The president isn't the only one who knows the truth. Isn't that right, Mr. Knight? To get to the bottom of this once and for all. On the stage, of course. Hold it. And how would you describe the incident exactly? Oh, you naive little man. Do you really think your silly, simple question will shake me? I was involved in a craven attempt to silence me with cold steel. I mean, it was... yeah. And while I was speaking to my enduring public, no less. Suddenly, Rook Knight jumped in front of me. When they stepped in to protect you, were you aware of the fact that you were being targeted? I was aware of the... No, I was aware of my audience, nothing else. When I step up to the podium, I enter another world entirely, a place of rapture, a place beyond words. Yeah, I think that's called stage fright. I bet you were like a deer in headlights. No, 1,000 types no. I remember every second, every moment is indelibly etched in my memory. When Rook and Knight stepped in, I was shocked, overwhelmed, taken back. Then bang, a shot ran out and a plain, unblemished balloon of red exploded nearby. About that red balloon. Are you trying to test me, Mr. Prosecutor? No, Mr. President. I simply wish to confirm what you remember. Very well. There were two very large, very round balloons, one on either side of the stage. Their deep crimson hue stood stark against the sky, just as the security plan said they would. The same security plan we found in the trash can, I assume. Rook and Knight leapt to my aid just before the balloon exploded. No hesitating. For an instant, my bodyguards tried to escort me back to the safety of the plane. You said they tried to escort you back onto the plane. Yes, that is exactly what I said. They threw open their attach cases. Okay, captured on camera. Then immediately moved to help me back onto the aircraft. Then the second shot. You know where that second bullet went. Is that how you treat a foreign dignitary, or do you really think such needling questions necessary? Well, what's he so upset about? Must you insist on going over the same details again and again? Even my patience has its limits. You know full well where it went. Well, it went right through Rook, and it lodged itself in the bulletproof vest I was wearing. If I may ask, what was the victim like in that moment? He was a man amongst men, a real hero. The mere impact of the bullet took my breath away, and yet he had the strength to grab me and rush me back inside the presidential plane. So you and the victim entered the plane together, is that correct? Yes, he offered his noble protection, and I gladly accepted it. All was as it should be. That sounds nice and all, but Doesn't that just mean he's always the first to make his escape? He's the president, detective. It's basically in his job description to do so. Nothing he's saying seems to be too off base. Guy's the victim here. Wouldn't make much sense for him to lie to us, you know? Guess we gotta assume he's telling the... No, one of the things he said is clearly wrong. Think back to the scene of the crime. Huh? Did we miss something? Alright, let me see what evidence again. Might as well take another look at myself. Well, I can't look at my evidence from here. Look, and I jumped in front of me. Then bang, a shot ran out. Plane, unblemished room of blood, exploded nearby. Not hesitating for an instant, my bodyguards tried to escort me back to the plane. Then the second shot. The bullet went right through Rook and lodged itself into the bulletproof vest I was wearing. This was before the first shot.
Objection!
Nope. Okay. Your evidence is worthless. Knight. Yes, sir, Mr. President. Edgeworth. The only inconsistency here is your existence itself. Yeah, a two-handed rebuttal. Okay, so that's not it. Even though, you know. Then bang, a shot ran out in a plane
Objection!
Wait, really? You say it was a plain red balloon that burst, but I strongly beg her to differ. What? Take a look at this. I think you'd agree it's hardly plain, wouldn't you? No! What? Who was that? Mr. President, meet the Steel Samurai. I would have hoped you might recognize him, especially if you were hoping to ingratiate yourself with the people of this country. Yeah, you need to watch the Jammin' Ninja too. He's amazing. So you see, the balloon that was struck by the bullet was anything but plain. It was, in fact, the Steel Samurai. But the briefing mentioned 2 plain red balloons. And there they are, right on the security plan. They do look pretty plain, don't they? Just simple, round balloons. Knight, what is the meaning of this? Explain yourself. Yes, Mr. President. Seems the Steel Samurai balloon was borrowed at the last minute, sir. Borrowed? That's what we were told. Guess they only reported the incident to us bodyguards, though. Seems there was a little trouble here on the site last night. One of the original balloons burst somehow, so they swapped it in an emergency replacement. Yeah, one of the stall holders happened to have it. From what I hear, he was more than willing to lend it out. A very happy-go-lucky kind of guy, they said. A happy-go-lucky stall holder with a Steel Samurai balloon to spare. Larry! They've filled just the bottom part up with air to make it look like another ornamental balloon. So while it was a Steel Samurai balloon, it was made to look like a plain red one above water. Is that the long and short of it? Knight, why was I not informed of this? Sorry, sir, we didn't think it was a pressing issue. And indeed, you saw it and knew no different, correct? Yes, I suppose so. Could he really have mistaken the Steel Samurai's pants for a plain red balloon? Still, Mr. President, I struggle to see how you wouldn't have noticed something different about the balloon. Of course! But what was that outburst for? Now I remember. I could barely see the balloon. You couldn't see it. That's right. The wind was blowing too hard. The flags to the side of the stage were flapping incessantly and blocking my view. Is that so? How do the Steel Samurai balloons keep ending up in water? Because they write it that way, duh. Yes, those 2 flags were being blown back towards me. It would have been a strong wind blowing right around the time of the incident. Strong enough to blow the flags in such a fashion. That does conflict in a way with our understanding of the case. Yes, it does. Thank you, Mr. President. Your testimony has revealed yet another contradiction. It has? Yes, a contradiction that could turn this entire case on its head. I was actually going to mention this earlier. Let me show you. You can see here that the flag is directly there, and that's when it would have gotten shot. But you know. When I arrived on the scene, the wind had died down and the flags were resting calmly for the most part. But the wind was previously blowing the flags as the president describes. And a red dot, everyone. What piece of evidence contradicts the stated conditions?
Take that!
This is it. The piece of evidence is key. Oh, sorry. That's the wrong thing. I got excited.
Take that!
Earlier, we deduced that the bullet that struck the Steel Samurai balloon and the bullet that passed through the flag were one and the same. From these two things, we further deduced the trajectory that the bullet must have taken. We conclude that our shooter must have fired from the left side of the spectator area. Where the flags were blowing, as the president describes, our conclusions become quite different. No, wait, the flags were pointed in the other direction. Exactly, our trajectory changes completely. If we trace the trajectory back to its source, we can ascertain who really fired that shot. Wait, but Mr. Edgeworth, that would mean... Yes, I know. We may not yet understand the reason why, but it can only have been one person who did it. Who does the balloon indicate as the one who fired the shot?
Take that!
The person who fired that shot was none other than you, Mr. Knight. What? The path from the balloon back through the flag leads directly to a spot where you were standing. Data updated in my organizer. But the guy's one of the president's bodyguards. Why the heck would he go around shooting balloons? This is absurd. What exactly are you trying to imply? Now, Mr. Knight, a man who has saved my life countless times, is my would-be assassin. Seriously, Edgeworth, you put up with a lot from you, but this? We're President Rang's bodyguards. We're the pieces of the board to protect the king. I'll handle this, Knight. Sorry, sir. Mr. Edgeworth, the wind was indeed blowing quite fiercely around the time of my speech. The wind can pick up and die at an instant, can it not? Therefore, I need proof that it was blowing hard enough to lift the flags during the crucial moments. The first shot was fired right around the time the president raised his fist. I have a piece of evidence that shows just that. Perhaps you can also show what was happening with the flag then.
Take that!
Your proof is in the picture right here. This should be good. Which picture? Where? You see which way the flag was really blowing. Right here.
Take that!
Well, do you deny it clearly shows the flag? Yeah. There we have it. Proof that it was blowing towards you at the moment of the shooting. So that means our pal over there did shoot the balloon, making him the assassin? Mr. Knight. Yeah, fuck it. Is our assassin. A shocking accusation. I'll be intrigued to learn how that would be to his advantage, huh? What do you mean? He means, what would I have stood to gain by killing the president? I'm his bodyguard. If he's not around anymore, neither is my job. Now, why would I give that up? He's right. Why would he? Mr. Knight is not the assassin. I'm so good at video games. He may have shot the balloon, but the president was on the other side of him entirely. Did he just empty his gun completely? I think so. Therefore, he couldn't have been aiming at his boss. Ha! Yeah, besides, why would I even shoot the balloon? What would be the point? And watch how you answer, or I might aim for something else next. There was a point, I'm sure of it. If I can figure out what it was, perhaps I can finally put this whole conundrum to rest. Definitely shot the balloon. That photo alone changes everything about this case. No, it doesn't. Okay, logic. I don't know. This seems like good enough. Yep. Why did Knight's assigned position change? I told you, I can't turn my neck to the right. Can only cover out the president's left side. So I wound up moving to the right side of the stage. But is that the only reason? Let us suppose that the plan hadn't changed, that Knight had remained posted on the left. Given that he was unable to turn his head to the right, would he even be able to shoot the balloon closest to him? Could it be that the security plan was changed for the express person of popping one of the balloons? If we suppose that to be the case, the two plans are different. Was the security detail reorganized at some point? Yeah, we made some last-minute changes yesterday. President's orders. That's right. The president was the one who ordered the change. Okay, these two are not related at all, but we'll figure it out. If I'm reading things right, the president knew in advance about the balloon shooting, which means he must have foreknowledge he would be in some crosshairs today as well. If that's true, then everything else that's been bothering me falls neatly into place. How did the shooter get a gun past such heavy security? And why would they then carry out the shooting wearing such a conspicuous item of clothing? Why use a laser sight when that would give away their location in an instant? And how did the president suffer no injuries at all despite a direct hit to the vest? These are the questions that Knight and the president don't want us to consider. There's only one possible reason for Mr. Knight to have fired his gun. To create the illusion of an assassination attempt. What? Huh? Idiot. You do understand what you're saying. Oh, I understand all too well. I understand everything now. Most of all, I understand why you were so keen to take this investigation off my hands, Mr. President. You wanted your real plans to remain hidden. How dare you speak to me that way? Is this some sort of sick joke? Oh, it's no joke, I assure you. It is simply the truth, as revealed by the careful application of logic and reasoning, nothing more. The first shot was fired by Mr. Knight with the specific intention of hitting the balloon. Is that a gunfire? Bursting of the balloon was guaranteed to cause a panic, and then he fired again. He did. Yes, he fired 2 bullets, both of which were aimed at the balloon. As for why he did so, it's because the second shot was designed to create the impression that the president had been hit. So, then what's the deal with the one in the vest? I'm willing to take a bet that the bullet was planted there long before the shooting ever occurred. Hehe, so Mr. Heroic President didn't take a bullet after all. That's not true. I was shot, I tell you. We'll be able to verify that for ourselves when we take a closer look at the bullet. At the very least, we can expect to find traces of Mr. Rook's blood on it, correct? Nerf. But you said it yourself. You found the shooter in the photograph, the person with the red hood. I thought I made myself clear. The trajectory points to only one possible shooter, Mr. Knight. And where does Miss Tabby fit into all this? She was simply one part of their plan. In order to place the suspicion elsewhere, they set about creating a fake assassin. The highly suspicious person with the red hood. I have yet to ascertain exactly how complicit Miss Lloyd was in the whole scheme, but I can say with some confidence that none of the shots were fired by her. I suspect her only job was to point a laser at the president. That's right, then I was tasked with turning your jacket inside out the moment the crowd flew into a panic, yes, thus making the mysterious red-hooded shooter disappear in a blink of an eye. Then, when the gun and the security plan were later found in the trash can, it would all appear to have been the work of an assassin so skilled that he could vanish into thin air. But then the case would have gone cold. Exactly what our friends here were hoping for. Makes sense now why they wanted you off the case. Indeed, because the entire affair was a cheap ruse perpetuated by the president himself. You be screaming? No, me. The president's mask as well and truly slipped. I admit it, the entire assassination was a lie, wasn't it? Is that stupid chief prosecutor hadn't insisted on assigning you? How could I let this happen?
Objection!
That's enough, Edgeworth. Mr. Knight, Sorry, but I'm speaking with the president right now. Yeah, well, I'm doing my job as a knight and protecting my king. So go ahead, keep running your mouth. Perhaps it would be better if we stuck to threatening each other with words. He wouldn't, would he? Nah, I don't need this thing to shut you up. Alright, my move. Question. You claim I fired my gun from on stage. How did you figure I did that in front of a crowd of thousands? An excellent point. Time for my counter move, I suppose. You had a certain something that allowed you to conceal your actions. A certain something, huh? Mighty specific. What did Knight use to hide his actions from the crowd? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the fucking...
Take that!
case? 12 shots? My attached case. Take a look at Kay's photograph. Take a look at this photograph. Ray is completely obscured by the case. The very moment this picture was taken, you were firing your gun in such a way that you wouldn't be detected.
Objection!
You don't like to let the facts get in the way of a good theory, do you, Edgeworth? Shame you don't seem to have noticed. Notice what? The theories are all you have. Conjectures, nothing more. The flag was billowing in the wind at precisely the right moment. I hid my gun with my attach. I refuse to allow stupid words to be in my language. We changed the security plan because I couldn't turn my head. It's all just speculation, circumstantial evidence at best. You can't prove any of it. Nah. If you at least had the bullet that burst the balloon, you might have a scrap of credibility. Imagine, you could have run forensics to see if it matched my gun. But no, that bullet is at the bottom of the lake. You gonna dredge it up? I hate to say it, but he's right. I don't have anything concrete. Whoops. I thought not. Maybe now you can shut your mouth. Yes. Miss Lloyd. Of course, she could shed some light on this whole situation. I just need to get her to talk. What's the matter? Something you want to say, Miss Journalist? No, never mind. That's what I thought. Miss Lloyd. I need you to be brave. If you don't speak up, the truth will be lost forever. You're a journalist after all, are you not? Dang it. Can't stay quiet any longer. Hey, you understand what you're doing, right? I think carefully before opening that mouth of yours. I was so focused on bagging me a scoop, I forgot the most important thing of all. Real journalists don't lie. Ain't no dang scoop if it ain't the truth. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I should have showed you this before. What is it? It's the laser pointer I used on the president. That's all I've done. Never shot nobody. You stupid. I thought I told you. You squeal and you go down as an accomplice. It was him. He told me to do it. It was at Genfa's embassy sniffing out a story like I told you. This was 3 days back. He comes up to me out of the blue and starts talking. Help me out and I'll give you an exclusive access to the president, that kind of stuff. What about the gun in the trash can? That I don't know nothing about, I swear. All he told me was to wear a jacket with a red hood and to point that there pointer at the president. I never thought for a minute it'd blow up in my face so bad. I'm sorry, truly I am. Thank you, Miss Lloyd. I'd like you to testify to that effect when this goes to trial. It ought to go a long way towards proving that the assassination was a sham. Oh, what's wrong with you people? Don't any of you know what's good for you? Cake-ona? Maybe a little cake-ona. My sympathies, Mr. Knight. Had you successfully removed me from this case as you intended, perhaps then you could have kept your pawn quiet. Gurk. So let me get this straight. You told Tabby, if you let slip about our fake assassination plot, we'll have you convicted for murder, or something like that. Of all the dirty... I said no such thing. Hold it. President Wang? Give it up, Knights. It's time we came clean. It's our only choice. So, Mr. President, you admit it. You admit that there was a plot to fake an assassination attempt. I do. I'm sorry. But why? Why do something like that? My popularity has been on the wane back home. I thought surviving an attempt on my life might give me the boost I needed. No comment? No comment? I'd be so pissed if I had if I wasn't alive and I had hair and facial hair that made me look exactly like a lion. We're all thinking it. Look, I'm not saying nothing, but we're all thinking it. All right. Holy. I know what we did was wrong. So yes, it was all lies, all of it. And the bullet in the vest, it was planted ahead of time. I wasn't hit by anything today. This game was used as evidence as court. For real, for real. But then what was up with the killer? Our plan got out somehow. And then he just appeared, hell-bent on turning our fake assassination into a real one. Hence the red raincoat, I suppose. You'd hope to get it getting close enough as the fake assassin to finish the job. There is one thing I don't understand though. Oh, and what would that be? Why did Rook have to die? If the whole thing was fake, how did he wind up getting killed for real? That's true, and therein lies a real question. He was a fine bodyguard, the best in fact. He may not have been a native of Shenfa, but he was someone I could fully trust. Dirty game. Mr. Rook must have done something to gain the trust of someone who'd hide from his own shadow. Sounds like he was a trustworthy to the president as I am to you, huh, sir? I believe that's for me to say, detective, not you. Come on. Edgeworth, Gumshoe would literally do nothing wrong for you. Come on. Mr. Rook must have known about the plan then, correct? He wasn't aware of any specific details, so not really. I tried to involve him, but he refused, and you would have done well to listen to him. This is a tragedy. The life of a good man has been wasted. What was so great about him anyway? What's gotten into him? He was just another piece on the board, there to protect you, nothing more. Mr. Knight, how could you? Who was it that actually went along with your plan, huh, Mr. President? Well, that pious coward backed down when you needed him to step up the most. I value your support too, of course, but... Look, I'm your chief bodyguard now. That's all that matters. And now that that spineless fool Rook is gone, things are going to change around here. Thanks to me, genius strategist, grand master, rightful leader of this team. We are all well aware of your ambitions, Knights. But doesn't this seem a little impudent of you to you? Why? My plan this time was perfect, as they always are, as they always will be. That's quite a statement, especially considering that your perfect plan was an abject failure. Yeah, no thanks to you, and that buffoon Rook. And how exactly is it Mr. Rook's fault? If he hadn't died, the killer would have never come after me. And I wouldn't have had to let you on this plane. Please, Mr. Knight, you mustn't talk like that. Fucking awful at poker, for real. What about this body? Knight stares whistling and looking upwards. I know, right? Fine, the guy died protecting you, Mr. President. I'm sure that's just what he always wanted. But he did die protecting the president. Wait, I thought the whole assassination thing was fake. Oh, come on, do I have to say everything twice? We planned a fake assassination, but someone else came along and tried to make it real. 2 shots were fired, remember? Like you said, Edgeworth, one of them was the bullet I shot through that balloon. But the second? That wasn't me. Oh, really? Then who did fire it? The real assassin, but not the killer. His plan was to come after the president with a knife. No, the most likely suspect here is the piece cowering quietly in the corner. Our lily white queen over there. What? Miss Lloyd? Again with this? I'm not your danged assassin. But is that really true? I, for one, don't believe it. The gun in the trash can. It can only belong to you. Plot twist. Still not her. As soon as I shot that balloon, I rushed over to help Rook escort the president back on the plane. I left Rook here in the room while I secured the president in the safe room. When I came back out, Rook was lying there on the ground. Miss Journalist must have shot Rook while we were escorting the president off stage. That single killer shot was fired by the gun you found in the trash can. So you don't actually know when the victim was struck by the bullet, do you? The knight doesn't protect the Rook, Edgeworth. He protects the king. That's not true. Lonely Island reference +2 knight. You want to translate? It means that his only concern was protecting the president. Lose the king and you lose the game. Isn't that the first rule of chess? But a win in which a key piece is sacrificed is the hollow victory indeed. Doesn't matter, still a victory. I kept the president safe, I win. Well, it's a bit early to be calling our little match. In any case, for this is where our battle really begins. Alright. King's Gambit. As soon as I heard that, rush over to help because of the billion buying on the plane. The victim really didn't take part in your little plan then, did he? Nope. And we kept him in the dark on the details. So we really thought the president was in danger. But wait, he must have noticed that the shot came from right next to him. Maybe he did, guess we'll never know. And even if he did know it was a sham, he still had a job to do. He still had to protect his king. And he was able to make a judgment like that in a split second? Impressive, he really was as capable as they say. Not so capable that I couldn't read him like a book. I made it so we had no choice but to go along with our little performance. Look in here in this room where I secured the president in the safe room. Why do that? You and the president both knew the whole thing wasn't real. But it had to seem real. There were people everywhere. It's not a good look, right? Imagine if someone had spotted a man who'd just been shot at, hanging out in his plane, sipping grape juice like he didn't have a care in the world. And what was the victim doing all this time, during all this? Who knows? I was in the safe room, like I said. Anyway. When I came back out, Rook was lying on the ground.
Hold it!
Where on the ground exactly? Right where he is now, the middle of the floor. The door to the outside was shut though. Guess the bullet must have hit him right before he closed it. And thanks to his little blunder, my whole plan fell apart. Mr. Knight, you mustn't talk that way. He may have kept you safe, Mr. President, but he isn't here now to save your good name. I'd call that dereliction of duty. Wait, what would you call it? An honorable try, which is more than what you'd give, I'd say. Sorry, but that's just how it is. Miss Journalist must have shot Rook while we were escorting the president off stage. Weren't you and Mr. Rook both carrying bulletproof attache cases? Yeah, opened them right after Rook spotted the laser sight. He moved into covering positions and used them to shield the president. So the bullet that hit Mr. Rook traveled through a gap in that defensive shield. Do you really believe Miss Lloyd to be that skilled a marksman? Heh, no, she was aiming for the president. That makes her a lousy shot. So it was pure coincidence that Mr. Rook was hit. And the bullet simply happened to find its way past your attached cases and through the gap in his vest. Imagine being named Knight and basing your entire personality on it, and chess and getting a horse haircut. True. Seems crazy to me too, but the facts are the facts. It was a shot in a million, but the shooter hit the bullseye, and the proof is in your hands. The single killer shot was fired by the gun present in this trash can. So the second shot had nothing to do with you. Right, that one was fired by your little friend. Imagine the scoop she had bagged if she hit its mark. I'm a journalist, you hear? I don't make facts, I report them. Yeah, journalists who signed up to a fake assassination plan in the hopes of getting a story. That's not... Look, I'll admit it. I set the whole thing up. Are you ready for chest? But not really. Barb, sit down, sit down. What are you doing? I'm like almost done with the first case. I've already done it like twice. I no longer can be ready for it. I've already done it. Bro, more logic chess then. We'll get more of it, I'm sure. But also, you literally did the thing we were bullying Edgeworth for earlier. There's got to be another twist. We don't have a bishop. That's true. You were the one who decided to bring a gun to the party. Who knows? Maybe you thought I'd keep you on shooting. You'd shut me up too. Yeah, basically apply that Tabby also had a gun on her. Beats me where she could have gotten one from, but hey. This entire testimony is pure conjecture. He can't prove any of it. You're right. Let's hit him with some cold, hard, undeniable evidence. I think it's here.
Objection!
Yerp. So you contend that it was you who shot the balloon and Miss Lloyd who shot Mr. Rook. Are you sure about that? Yeah, sure I'm sure. Well, what you propose would indeed match up with the total number of shots heard. The gun from the trash can itself has been fired twice. Wait, Edward's logic piece is at night. What at night is actually Bishop this whole time? Ain't no way. I don't know, man. Now, why would the supposed number of shots heard from this gun differ from the amount of rounds spent? It's simple, because it was planted by the real perpetrator of the crime. Somebody faked the evidence, yes. And if you think about it, their reason for doing so was obvious. To ensure that whoever found the gun would conclude that the shooter had been in the spectator area. In order to do that, they had to make it seem as if both shots have come from this one weapon. I get it. So that's why I got 2 spent rounds, huh? Precisely, as we already have proven, the bullet that burst the balloon came from a different weapon, which makes it entirely possible the bullet which killed Mr. Rook didn't come from this gun either. Heh. Nice work, Edgeworth. That's some high-grade sleuthing. But why don't you get to the point? You've come this far and spit it out. Oh, I intend to, don't worry. The person who really shot Mr. Rook was... you, bozo. You, Mr. Knight, you're the one who murdered Mr. Rook. Oh, finally got up to the courage to say it, huh? Surely not. Surely you wouldn't have. It wasn't only the killer who tried to take advantage of this fake murder plot. You killed Mr. Rook, hoping that he would look like an accidental victim of the bungled assassination. It's going to come into play. With the president locked away in the safe room and the door on the airplane tightly closed. It was just you and Mr. Rook alone, together. And that was when the 3rd bullet was fired, right into your colleague's body.
Objection.
Wait, you're really gonna claim there's a 3rd one now? You just said only 2 gunshots were heard. You wanna tell me how that works? Airplane cabins are particularly soundproof, Mr. Knight. If you close the door, nothing can be heard from the outside, not even gunfire. You wanna bet? But wasn't the president right next door? Very true. Which means he may have heard the shot himself. Well, Mr. President, I didn't hear anything. But you can observe this room through your security feed, can you not? The camera in this room isn't normally on. I have to manually switch it on when I enter the safe room. And that's what you did this time too, right? Well, that is... What's gotten into him? Mr. President, this is vitally important. Please, Mr. President Wang. Fine, I was busy hiding under the bed, covering my ears. What? Even though you knew the whole thing wasn't real? Yes, because I hate the sound of guns. Just the slightest hint of that awful noise, and oh, it's just too much. Take voice acting asses, get it twisted. Nope, not happening, sorry. Oof. That there's sadder than a pot of overcooked crawfish. Great voice acting for them right now. Thank you, thank you. That was powerful. I appreciate it, I appreciate it. Mr. Knight, you saw that President Wang was cowering beneath the bed. And what more, you knew from the monitor bank that the security camera for this room hadn't been switched on, which means you know that the circumstances were perfect for you to fire the 3rd shot straight at Mr. Rook. Knight, how could you? Could you really have betrayed my trust so horribly? You think I killed the old half-wit? You don't trust me much, huh? This is the thanks I get for putting my life on the line for you day after day. I want to believe you, but I don't get it. I just don't get it. What is there to doubt here? What, you don't believe that the girl over there could have done it? No, because this gun isn't the murder weapon. We know this from the number of bullets fired. Yeah, well, how do you know there wasn't a spent bullet from the start? What? Someone could have fired a bullet from that gun yesterday or the day before. Then today, another bullet. Then hit that, and that bullet hit Rook. That's pure speculation, pal, and you know it. Maybe, but can you prove it's not true? Not with any certainty, no. You're nothing without conclusive proof, so come on. A single piece of evidence, straight through my heart. I dare you. Well, what are you waiting for? Nurk, there must be something. Mustn't there, Mr. Edgeworth? If we can't prove it, Tabby's... Please, Ruffles. I messed up, I know I did. I should have never had done what I did. Not even for a scoop. But murder? Nah, that ain't me. Ain't a murderer's bone in my body. Conclusive proof. If only I could prove that Knight's gun is the murder weapon. Wait, perhaps I can. If you had at least had the bullet that burst the balloon, you might have a scrap of credibility. Imagine, you could run forensics to see if it had matched my gun. We had the bullet that killed Mr. Rook. Forensics could tell us which gun it was fired from. No proof, no case. End of conversation. Hold it right there. Well, what now? You're not about to claim you do have proof. Huh. Of course I do. This ought to be good. Alright, bring it on. Show me this proof of yours. It's key to ending our little game. Very well. My conclusive evidence is right here. Oh, you mean like not right here as in like, here, let me show you, but right here, but like not in my possession as in like... Not in my possession. I mean, it kind of is in your possession. Alright then, thanks for playing, folks, but that's game over. However, it is here in this room. Fuck you, Edgeworth. Just say that. What? As we know, the bullet that killed Mr. Rook passed through his body. But where did it end its journey? Perhaps we should cast our minds back to an earlier conversation. After passing through his body, the bullet that took Mr. Rook's life then found itself lodged inside the vest. He's right. If the president hadn't been wearing that vest, this things could have gotten a lot worse. Say what he needs to feel cool. He always wants to one-up everyone. Bro's such an asshole. But now, of course, we know that the so-called assassination attempt was a complete fabrication. The vest was prepared in advance, made to look as if it had been hit by a bullet. Which begs the question, where's the real bullet? I like it, a twist. This is good stuff, Edgeworth. Come on, then, don't keep us in suspense. Does any of the evidence point to where the bullet that killed Mr. Rook might have ended up? Do I have it on your...
Take that!
There's something very clearly missing from this room. Yes, a prosecutor with some common sense. Oof, 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 oof. Take a look at the bank of security monitors. The writers did a great job too. Oh, I see you've caught on, Mr. President. Splendid. There are screens here showing views from all around this airplane, inside and out. The only external angle not covered is the right-handed side of the aircraft. That's because one of the monitors is missing. There was a monitor in that space previously, wasn't there, Mr. President? There was. I have no idea what my plushie is doing there now, though. It appears someone's vain attempt to hide what is obviously lacking. But where did it go and why? The why is easy enough to answer, because it was struck by a bullet. For if we are to believe that the bullet in the vest was the real deal, then anything that hinted at the existence of another bullet had to be removed. So where did the missing monitor go? Where indeed? I believe there must be a hidden somewhere on this plane. After all, there wouldn't have been time to dispose of it outside this aircraft. Detective Gunshoe, conduct a search if you would. Right away, sir. Mr. President, extraterritoriality, remember. I have no objection to the search. Please, go ahead. It will help us discover the truth behind what happened to Rook. I will not stand in your way. What are you? I don't believe this. Rook this, Rook that. Do you ever think about anyone else? The search has been authorized, Detective. If you wouldn't mind. Sir, I found the monitor. Excellent work. Now go ahead and extract the bullet. Let's see. If I put my hand in here and just... Come on, come on. Got it. Well, would you look at that? Blood. It's a bullet that killed Mr. Rook. There's no doubt about it. And there you have it, Mr. Knight. The single piece of evidence you requested straight through your heart. Even you must now admit, if this bullet didn't come from the spectator area gun, then Mr. Lloyd cannot be Mr. Rook's killer. What? No pithy comeback? Detective, have forensics analyze this bullet for striations and compare them to the gun we found. Yes, sir. We'll get the evidence you need. You can count on it. Maybe you should take away his gun while we're at it? All right, let's hear what forensics has to say. Findings are as follows, sir. Firstly, the blood on this bullet is indeed that of the victim, proving that it was the bullet that killed Mr. Rook. Second, we found Mr. Knight's fingerprints on the gun, probably from when I handed all the evidence over to him. Now for the key part, the striations. If they're not a match, then Mr. Lloyd is in the clear. Lastly, the striations on the bullet are a match with this weapon. What? But how could that be? No way. Oh, come on. There's no doubt about it, sir. This is the gun that fired the bullet. Oh, how? Well, isn't that something? Oh yeah, tell me the angle that worked with, bozo. That I was right. What's the matter? You didn't think you had me backed into a corner, did you? Guess you misread the board. Because the only one backed into a corner here is you. There's no denying it. Forensics proved that the gun and the bullet are a match. The bullet that killed Mr. Rook was fired from the gun you found in the spectators area. So who pulled the trigger? Can't have been me. I was up on stage, which leaves your little friend. The hack killed Rook. She's a murderer, and you just proved it. Bishop, it went diagonally, the final twist. Your move, Edgeworth. Just remember two things. One, where you found that gun, and two, which gun the fatal bullet came from. Whichever way you look at it. I can't have been the shooter. How did it come to this? Me and the president, we admitted to faking the assassination attempt. Now it's your turn to admit something. Who the killer really is. There's no way Tabby did it, is there? Don't let him get to you, Kay. We just need to go over his statements again. There must be something further we can deduce from them. Okay, let's do this, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no denying it. Forensic proved the gun and the bullet are a match. Hold it. No, that's objection. What was it you said? That forensics would back you up? Yeah. How does it feel to be shot in the chest by your own conclusive proof, huh? Not so good, I imagine. The bullet and the gun are a match, Mr. Edgeworth. That kind of has to mean that Tabby pulled the trigger, no? Even so, I simply cannot accept that. But sir, there's no denying the evidence. There isn't. So what am I missing? If I assume Miss Lloyd to be innocent, then the gun and the bullet should match. What is it, Kay? I was just thinking if the evidence points to something that doesn't seem possible, then maybe there's something wrong with it. You're asking me to call the evidence into question. Well, there's no way Tabby did this, right? So the evidence says that she did, then the problem must lie there. You seem very sure about this. Call it my great thief intuition. Intuition, huh? Still, she could be right. I simply don't believe Miss Lloyd to be a malicious liar, which means, as someone who believes that evidence is everything in court, the irony is not lost on me, but if I were to call a piece of evidence into question, it would have to be the bullet. What if there was something wrong with the bullet? The other gumshoe, you didn't do anything strange to the bullet when you received it, did you? Strange like what, sir? Step on it or anything? How could you, sir? How could you even think of something like that? And yes, the detective would have absolutely never done anything to it. Okay, Edgeworth, hear me out. He shot the camera with the other gun beforehand to get it to dent, and then switched out the real bullet with the fake bullet, which he dipped in blood in order to make it seem like the other gun had fired. If something untoward is going on here, it would have to involve the weapon, not the bullet. Yeah, sure, whatever. After all, we only just received the bullet a little while ago. What does that matter? It could have been tampered with, whatever. Furthermore, we know that Mr. Knight had an opportunity to handle a gun. You have gathered and removed yourself from the plane. I'd do as you'd say if I were you, Mr. Edgeworth. Yeah. This can't really be the end of the line, can it? Indeed, he had ample opportunity. There's no doubt that this gun is the weapon that was used in the crime, which means it must belong to... What?
Take that!
The gun belongs to Mr. Knight. He switched them around. That has to be it. Kill Mr. Rook was fired from the gun you found in the spectators area. So who pulled the trigger? Can't have been me. I was up on stage, which leaves your little friend. That killed Miss Rook. She's a murderer, and you just proved it. That's not what I proved at all. Oh yeah? So what did you prove? Still trying to make this about how I fired the first shot. Sure, you proved that, and I admit it. But so what? You're forgetting that you're here to do one thing, and one thing only. You got that right, to uncover the truth. And you think ruining your country's reputation with Gen 5 is going to do that? No, your job is to solve an attempted assassination, nothing else. You don't get to tell me what to do. Or sure, let the chill go cold while you flip your wig over who gets to say what to who. Or you can finally do the right thing and admit that your little friend is guilty. Never. You're the guilty one here. There's no doubt about it. The markings on the bullet are consistent with those left by the weapon on the trash can. But if Mr. Knight were to have tempered with a gun somehow, he could have only done it once I've handed over the evidence, and not a moment before. Is there anything we can do, Mr. Edgeworth? There must be something. Our reasoning thus far has been sound, I'm sure of it. Which means we can overcome his defense this time as well. Really, even with the forensic results on his side. The testimony is untruthful. There's always a contradiction to be found. Just listen to what he has to say for himself one more time.
Hold it!
Mr. Knight. No, you hold it. You were the one who proved this. Or are you saying that forensics was wrong? The bullet had the victim's blood on it, which means it must have been the one that took his life. Not necessarily. And it does seem to have been fired from the gun we found in the trash can. Don't you just love this? Your face, Mr. Edgeworth. What a picture. Grrrr. Of a man in dire straits, yes, well spotted you. Let's just agree that the facts are what they are and move on. The gun fired the fatal bullet.
Objection!
Fuck you. Admit it, you switched the guns, didn't you, Mr. Knight? That's why the markings matched the weapon in question. It was yours all along. Heh. An intriguing move there, Edgeworth, and you must have made the switch when I handed over the evidence. Well, I was busy trying to make the case for remaining on the investigation. You took the laser sight from the gun we found in the trash can and put it on your own. Then, not long afterwards, you handed that gun back to me instead of the one we found. Heh. I did, huh? Think I somehow knew you'd find, let alone run forensics on that bullet sometime in the future. Is that so strange? You're a chess player after all. A man well used to thinking several moves ahead. I'm flattered, but much as it pains me to admit, you're overestimating my abilities. Besides, do you even have any proof that I made the switch? No. The gun is the same model as mine. Weird, sure, but it's just a coincidence. And look, there's a laser sight attached. Also, take a look in the cylinder. 2 spent bullets, just like what you'd expect to see. What proof do you have that I switched the original gun for mine, huh? None, that's what. He's not wrong. You say I'm overestimating your abilities. You surprise me. What can I say? I'm a modest guy. More modest than you, that's for sure. Everywhere except at the chessboard, that is. Well, I don't see a chessboard here, do you? Shame. Still, guess that gives you a nice excuse. I didn't mess up. I didn't have the right evidence. I don't think I'll be the one making excuses. Rather, I didn't mess up. They just got lucky with the evidence will be your excuse, I imagine. Bum, 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 bum. Just a coincidence. A coincidence, you say? Or was it a necessity? It can't be both, pal. Sure it can. We bodyguards need to protect the president. And the girl needed to use a gun, so she probably doesn't know a whole lot about him. It's not so far-fetched for her to pick something she'd heard of that we also happen to use. Okay. But why a revolver? Why is that your go-to gun? Something to do with its ease of use. What? Not spent casings to chase down, for example. Exactly. What do you mean exactly? Where you can't afford to fail or don't know what you're doing. Still, coincidence, necessity, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference either way. And look, there's a laser sight attached. Yet no shit. Because you swapped it on there. Put up or shut up, Edgeworth. Where's your evidence? Well, that is. Don't go making accusations you can't back up. Or did your daddy never teach you that? Don't making accusations you can't back up? I mean, certainly, Von Karma would never say something he can't back up. Obviously, he also always has the right evidence for every situation. That's how he never lost a case in 40 years. He would never kill Edgeworth's dad. And if it stands, the facts are in my favor here. 2 spent bullets, just what we expect to see. I mean to ask, actually. What about your own weapon? How many spent bullets are in its cylinder? This old girl here? Well, now. I let loose a few rounds earlier, as you saw. He reloads his gun every time he fires it. Bro's been playing too much COD. But even if I were telling you how many there were at the time, you'd have no way of verifying that. Of course, in order to swap the guns properly, you'd have to maintain the right number of bullets per gun. He didn't have the chance to put on any gloves, though, which means... Alright, I think it's about time you did the right thing and resigned. Don't you? Game's all about done. Okay.
Hold it!
Hold it! The proof is... something you clearly don't have. If you did, you'd have made your move by now. So we do have proof, right, Mr. Edgeworth? We won't be given the chance to investigate any further. I have to work with what we've gathered. Think, Miles, think. Consider all the evidence. Okay, thank you. Matching the 2 gunshots heard in the recording. That proves this must be a weapon that was used. Oh my god, get this fucking checked! For fingerprints! The grip, I've held a few guns in my time, though. They've never felt quite right in my hands. This one is no exception. Alright, bozo, whatever. Heh heh heh. If you got the goods, it's now or never. How are we supposed to prove he switched the guns? Fortunately, we don't have any direct evidence of his wrongdoings, but that in itself is kind of a proof, because otherwise the striations shouldn't line up like they do, right? Right, we must carefully consider and infer what we came from the evidence bringing to his testimony. Spinning that thing doesn't got even single action. Yeah, it doesn't fire it, even though he's like spinning it and shit. Two bullets, just like we'd claimed to see. Okay. I was wondering what the game would actually have me do, but this is fine. I have your proof right here. That's your proof. I think you've been working too hard, Edgeworth. Not the gun itself, the evidence it carries. Evidence that will prove once and for all that it does in fact belong to you. I'm looking forward to this. Go ahead, make your move. What about it came into play? The rook? The bishop? Not a pawn, surely. The evidence the gun will provide takes the form of... fingerprints. Fingerprints. Namely your fingerprints, Mr. Knight. My prints? Pah! Of course my prints are on the gun. You handed it right to me when you gave up the evidence. How could I not be on there? What if I told you there are prints on a part of the gun that you shouldn't have touched at any point? What? Where? You can't prove that. Oh, but I can. There's a place where your fingerprints could never have left. If things happened as you say, allow me to present the final piece of evidence. That will bring our game to its rightful conclusion. Here, look closely at the cylinder, Detective. 2 bullets fired, but where are the prints we're looking for, sir? You did indeed switch the guns when I handed you the evidence. But if that were all you have done, your deception would have been easily detected, because the number of bullets fired by each gun was different. There were 2 spent bullets in the gun we found. Yeah, but what about Mr. Knight's gun? You know that he fired 2 bullets at the stage into the balloon. And he fired another bullet into Mr. Rook, ending his life. So 3 bullets in total, plus the few odd ones he let loose in shock during the little games. And after each shot, he reloaded his gun out of habit. With his bare hands, of course. Yeah. Officer, where exactly did Mr. Knight's fingerprints found? The ones you mentioned in your report. Sir, they were found on the exterior of the weapon, but also on the bullets themselves. I'm not sure they could have gotten there from just me handing you the evidence, Mr. Knight. Grrrr. That's... And there we have it. Proof that you did indeed switch the guns. It actually happened? I think so. This gun, the one which fired the bullet that killed Mr. Rook? is yours. And in taking his life, you are the true assassin. I didn't, Checkmate. Grrrr. No! But like with a lot of O's? I was going to be the new chief of security. That blasted Rook. If it hadn't been for him, I would have been in charge by now. I would have been in control of the whole team. My plan was perfect. The fake assassination was supposed to be flawless. His neck is crumbled. Good. He had a gun the whole time? He could have shot someone just now. True. Detective Gumshoe. Right away, sir. Curse you, Edgeworth. Our game isn't over yet. I'm afraid this is as far as we go for today. The next moves we play will be in the courtroom. But it's not fair. It's not fair. March 25th, 5:12 p.m. Gore Lake, Lakeside Stage. Mr. Edgeworth, I owe you a debt of gratitude. You exposed a murder within my ranks and my personal guard. I will not soon forget that. He's suddenly very presidential again now that we're back outside the plane. I saw it, you know, when I first proposed the fake assassination to him. You want me to handle it? Not Rook. Rook refused. But I can rely on you, can't I? Of course, sir. You can count on me. I'll put together a plan that can't possibly fail. And he'll play his part like the pawn he is. The hatred in his eyes was plain to see. He despised poor Rook. I was not entirely comfortable about moving forward with Knight in charge of our little deception. And looking back, I think he sensed my discomfort. I can't help but thinking I played a part in his decision to end Rook's life. Mr. President, none of this would have happened if you hadn't plotted to fake an attempt on your life. That was your crime, and it is a crime you will have to live with. You are right. I can only apologize for the part I played, and I will no doubt be made to pay for my actions in one way or another. But I thank you nonetheless. You solved the riddle of Rook's demise, and for that I shall be eternally grateful. I will be here in your country for a little while longer yet. But when I return home, perhaps you will visit us in Genfa. You will always be welcome. Oh yeah, he's dead. No way. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all don't know how grateful I am. Also, that ends well. Miss Lloyd, the accusation of murder made against you was of course entirely groundless. But the fact remains that you were a willing participant in the staged assassination attempt. The police will no doubt wish to speak to you about the matter. You should be aware that you may be punished for your actions. I know, I'm awfully sorry about everything, truly I am. I understand your desire for a scoop, but there are limits. There sure are. It got me some serious thinking to do. You did it, Mr. Edgeworth. That was something else. Local prosecutor solves assassination conundrum, earns eternal gratitude of a president. How's that for a headline? Hey, that there's my department. Mr. Prosecutor, how does it feel to have solved such an important case? You must be over the moon. She certainly didn't stay down for long. No comment. Dang, you're one tight-lipped son of a gun. As I should be. This case is not over yet. It isn't. How come, sir? Because until we unravel the story behind this, the case will never be completely over.
Take that!
DeKiller's calling card. Mr. DeKiller has yet to complete his assignment. I mean, he might still try to murder the president. I hope I'm wrong, but if I'm not, this could all blow up into something more sinister. As one would expect of the attempted assassination of a president, the case was all over the news, and my preparations for Mr. Knight's trial were constantly interrupted by requests from the press. There wasn't a person in the land who didn't know about the case. Everyone was talking about it. I'm so popular. Everyone was talking about it. They stood up and clapped. Shut the fuck up, Edgeworth. And in the midst of the frenzy that followed, nobody noticed that this was only the first move in the game, far bigger than any of us could have imagined. Reddit ass comment. For real. All right, gamers. That's the first case done and dusted. 3 hours and 25 minutes, as predicted. Dang, that's crazy. Anyway, none of my business. You're 18 more hours to go. True. Barb, what the fuck was up with the length of the last case of the first game? I swear to God, that might be one of the worst cases in all of Ace Attorney I've ever done. lmao, it do be a sequel. I haven't done the sequel yet for this one. I don't know how long the case 5 is going to be, but if it's as long as the other one, oh boy. Played the first. Barb, your reading comprehension is so bad you don't understand the words out of my fucking mouth. I said the last case of the first game was really long. Oop. Yeah, oop. I can't read what you're saying. True. You had ambassador. Well, you see, you had ambassador rights. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. And also, I'm not gonna deal with your bullshit. Even though I'm clearly guilty, I'm gonna put a time limit on the amount of things you can ask me. Fuck you. Oh my God. That shit sucked. That shit was bad. Had them removed. He still had foreigner rights. Oh my God. Just end me. Hopefully the last case in this game isn't as bad. There's no way it's gonna be. This first case was fine. The thing is, I have to compare this to like Great Ace Attorney 2, right? And Great Ace Attorney 2's first case is a banger. Every case in Great Ace Attorney 2 is a banger. But the first case is also a banger. So it's got a long way to go. I'm excited to see where it goes from here, though. Also, I feel like the music was downgraded a little bit in this game. I think I liked the pursuit case in the first game better. We'll see. Maybe it'll grow on me. But it was a fine first case. I swear to God, though, if the next case is a flashback, I'm going to be so fucking pissed. Oh. Kay is here, so I'm happy. That's true. Kay being here is fine. I like when Kay's here. All right, bozos. Tomorrow we'll do case 2. Will I do all of it? I don't know. Depends how long it is. Did they go into the Matrix? I don't know. Bozo. Have yourselves one of those. Tomorrow, case 2. More Ace Attorney. 8 o'clock. You mean do half of case 2? Potentially. Depends on how long it is. I was like, I saw Kate boot up Deadlock, and I'm like, there's no way, right? Last message sent 1 minute ago. Deadlock? Question mark? She's addicted. She is actually addicted. This is the 3rd time today she's boot up Deadlock. And there's Ghost Mop. There's Ghost Mop right behind her. MOBA addiction is no joke. For real, for real. There's always time for Deadlock. I disagree. I still don't actually like Deadlock, but I'd like it to be known I was right about Mirage. Everything I said was on the money. Get owned. When she asked to make sure I wasn't playing Deadlock yesterday, I was like, how do I leave without saying I hate Deadlock? Yerp. Kate was really convinced I actually liked playing Deadlock. She was very wrong. When was the last time I played Deadlock? September 27th. I think I did that to look at the ability of a skill. Like, Origin play League of Legends. No. I will not. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for the Ghost Mop is now playing League of Deadlock. But I will never. Yeah, basically. I think the game, he launched it already. Did he? Doesn't say it on my screen. I might just be behind though. Bum, ba-da, bum, ba-da, bum. I might not be good at Deadlock, but I'm pretty good. Actually, I'm okay at Deadlock. The real issue with Deadlock is that I never really gave a shit while playing. I really only did it so Kate would have enough people to play with. I gave it a fair shot, but boy, it's not my cup of tea, man. You know what would make Deadlock better? If it wasn't a MOBA. Okay, that's pretty much end of sentence. True. Play with because it's a MOBA. Yeah, MOBAs fucking suck. Like, Pokemon Unite was fun for a little bit because it was like the least MOBA of them all, but Deadlock is just a MOBA. It has all the same failings of all the other MOBAs. The only thing it does right is that it's, you know, like a shooter. But like, even that's not unique. I don't know, man. I don't know. Is farming first, clash later. That's all I know. That's literally the strat for all MOBAs. A TF2 event. Here's the thing though. TF2 is a good game with like really interesting and fun dynamics between the characters. All I can think of in Deadlock is, oh yeah, this person's like a really good laner. Oh yeah, this person has a really good end game. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Other MOBAs, they want to gank if they can. Here you focus farming. Focus farming. You do want to gank after your farm is done because it's just more souls. Get it twisted. Ganking is a form of farming. Some target CC is going to get like that, I'm sure. I don't think so. I think the design space of a MOBA prevents it from getting to that point. It's a design space in which direct counters or counterplay has to be almost exclusively in the items and not the actual characters themselves. There will be things that strong characters can do that other characters will care more about, but they'll never be like specific strategies. Because even if you do, you can't guarantee that you have any of those characters on your team, right? Because you can't have multiples of a character. The design space, it's too limiting. Now, if it wasn't a MOBA, they could go off the fucking wall with what these characters could do. You didn't have to worry about all this item bullshit that just makes the game worse. You could do so much more with character kits. In fact, you already see that. Most people, their favorite part of Deadlock is the laning part. The reason for that is that like people's kits are basically set to like what's written in them, you know? Whatever. Yeah, I don't like Deadlock. I don't like the way it's presented or the game type it is. I get it. I'm a loser. Anyway, you will never see Deadlock on this channel. Get it twisted. I wouldn't have played. No, I wouldn't know. I never played. Overwatch was fun for a little bit. Me laning Pog, me ganking. No! Well, I can't stop Kate from getting addicted to a video game. She has a very addictive personality. So, it already got her hooks right into her. Me, though, I'm addicted to something else. Playing bad JRPGs. Get it twisted, but none of them have come out recently. Actually, Metaphor comes out in 5 days. Do I ruin my finances to buy Metaphor? Possibly. We'll see. We'll see if I literally ruin my finances to buy a video game again. In the meantime, I hope the rest of you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll probably stay up for a little bit more. I have like a bunch of caffeine. Yes, I miss Gallica. Yo, me too. I miss Stall. Dude, okay. I know I was about to say goodbye. Stall's Awakening is actually peak. I've watched it over without like the distraction of streaming. That shit is so fucking good. It's crazy. It's actually now my favorite Awakening in any Persona game I've played. It's peak. The music, like the way everything is handled, the run up to it, beautiful. Atlas is cooking, and I can't wait to see where it goes, man. All right. I'm not gonna gush about a game that literally isn't out yet. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night. Bye-bye.